talking franchises here, bud.
Welcome to the franchise. After so many years of toil, Dune finally becomes eligible for this show coming this Friday or Thursday night. I feel like movie theaters just put out movies now at like Thursdays at 5. People just go. My day, you had to like wait till midnight. They don't give a shit anymore. It's good. I think it's a good thing. I'm not complaining. All right. I'm Daniel Ehrenberg. That's my name, and we're talking about Dune this week. This week we're talking about David Lynch and that first Denis Villeneuve, and then we're gonna go to the movie theaters this coming week and talk about that movie the next week. Dune Part 2. Yeah. All right. Let me bring in my co-host, Logan. Are you ready to spice it up?
You didn't say my full name.
Oh, right. Logan B. Adair. What's up?
That's Logan B. Atreides.
Oh, very good. Very good. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm ready to spice it up. You did the thing that I do a lot of the time where I point something out and it sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm not. I'm just pointing something out, But I have
So
to
you feel like you
clarify,
have to say,
I'm
I'm
not
not
complaining.
complaining.
I'm
Yeah.
really not complaining, guys. I'm just pointing something out.
Yeah, man.
But-
just making an ob.
Yeah, you're right. They do that. Like Thursdays, it's like, 2:00. Come see Dune.
It's fine.
Yeah. I know from experience. I worked at a movie theater. That's what
I
happens.
It's pretty recently.
Well, I did a long time ago, and then I did again pretty recently.
Right.
But
And you boned at least one employee of that movie theater. More than one?
Not true.
No.
0.
Not for lack of trying.
That's not true either. I did not. I did not try. I did not try.
Okay.
Did
she try?
No, there was no effort put involved.
No
when I
effort.
worked at the movie
Interesting.
theater.
Logan, can I ask you a question? I think about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We talk all the time, but we don't talk that much about our sex lives. I wish we talked more about it. Logan.
Well, I feel like we did for a while, and then I stopped because it kept just Logan, who just had sex yesterday. How you doing?
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't heard it in a while.
Well, because I stopped talking to you.
How often have you been having sex lately?
See, this is why I stopped talking about it, because it was
That's
becoming
an
like
honest
a big
question.
thing on the podcast.
No, what? It's not a big thing. You're making it a big thing. Just answer the question.
How is pretty recently?
Like since 2014 started, what is the frequency?
Since 2014?
Yeah, that dick is getting brined.
Well, that was 10 years ago. I mean, how do I
Wait, what? 2024? What? Did I say something wrong?
Yeah, you said 2014.
Oh, fuck. I meant, this year.
It's happened twice in 2024.
Okay, he's doing all right, gang. 2 different girls or one?
Same one.
Same one. Okay. Same one. Was it the same night or
2
different occasions?
Okay, well, I guess 2 occasions, 3 times.
I love to hear that. Okay.
Logan, I'm going to take this out of the podcast.
No,
none of this
you fucking better not. You fucking better not. All right, we're talking about Dune this week.
I was doing it that night. Let me tell you something.
Yeah. All right. Had you seen any of these Dunes?
Never saw him.
Never.
I've been waiting for the podcast.
Okay, he's been waiting for the podcast. I like it. I should have done the same thing. I really should have.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
It was marketed. I didn't actually know this. On IMDb, this is called Dune Part 1. I feel like I didn't really know that. I just thought it was Dune, kind of.
Oh, it's infuriating. Listen. Okay. My girlfriend loves Dune. Okay, she's a big Dune guy. I have a Dune poster in my bedroom where I sleep every night.
Wow,
all right, it's my girlfriend's. All right,
the original.
No, it's of the Villeneuve film. Okay, and I got news for you. This fucking thing says Dune. There ain't no Part 1 anywhere. They didn't want people to know that. Warner Brothers just lied to the world. Like, they promoted this as a movie, and then people got to the theater, and the title card says Part 1.
Well, that's how it was, right?
Like, I only know about this shit because, like, I read the Hollywood Reporter. If I didn't know that shit going in, I'd have been pissed. They got to be upfront about that stuff. I feel like it in its trailers was like you knew like it part two was coming. I
I
guess
don't think that that's true. I
you
think
don't think
like
that's true?
I think it was kind of talked about. People thought that it was coming, but then I remember at the end of the movie it says "It" chapter 1, and you're like, "Oh
Mm,
shit!" But I knew, like people who were aware know, but I don't really think that it was marketed that way.
I will say that I read that the success of it chapter one helped Denis Villeneuve pitch this to Warner Brothers because he was like, that's a thing now. You could cut a book into two movies and it could still be a huge hit.
Well, you can tell that I feel like it's planned from part one that or from the get go that he wants to do a second one because there's a lot left out, especially toward the second
Oh,
half.
no, of course, of course. It was always intended to be more than one movie.
Yeah, there's like whole
I'm saying
characters not in the movie.
no, I'm saying the studio just flat out lied.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really have a problem with it. Remember they did that with that Blair Witch movie? They marketed it as it one thing and then it came out as Blair Witch. I thought that was
No,
kind of
but that's
cool.
a different thing. That's like Cloverfield. That's like a marketing gimmick that works because like it really gets you to focus on the movie. It's not a market. This isn't a marketing gimmick. The only way this is a marketing gimmick is that they think people are less likely to see a part one, so they just don't tell you that.
Why would they think? I mean, people were excited, I feel like. People love Dune.
Dude, you're on Letterboxd. Like you're not with
Yeah.
people.
All right. I guess it's the same thing as Blade Runner, right? Like people, nobody
Yeah.
actually that ain't making money. Nobody cared about seeing another
No
Blade
one
Runner.
gives a fuck about these movies except
Yeah.
for like nerds.
Okay, fair enough. You're a
Yeah.
nerd. I see you a lot. You're like nerd. You fucking nerds. You're the biggest nerd that I personally know. Like you, and probably a lot of people. Not like in like the nerdiest sense, but you are very knowledgeable about nerd shit.
Yeah, I know a lot. I'm smart, Logan.
But you're not a nerd.
I think I'm a nerd. Yeah, I read comic books. Like I'm certainly attracted to shit that attracts nerds. I bristle at the reaction that people have to this kind of thing.
Boy, you hate that people like it.
No, I don't care. It's great. People should like what they want to like, but um,
So what happens if I like this? Am I a nerd?
no. Look, we'll talk about it. I just have a problem with fantasy. There's a moment in the second movie where they've established, and we'll start from the beginning in a second. But there's a moment in the second movie where they establish that any vibration causes the sandworms to come, right?
Yeah, but they don't really stick to that.
All right. But then the scene where they arrive on Arrakis, they're driving these like enormous fucking hovering oil tankers. Okay. They're giant. All
Hmm.
right. And they're hovering right above the ground, like inches above the ground. Okay.
But it's not touching.
Right.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's like, I feel like I watch movies like this and I have a problem with them every 30 seconds. Like something that doesn't make sense to me or that I think is bullshit, but I'm not allowed to complain about literally any of it because these kinds of fantasy movies can just like come up with something and then it's no longer a problem.
But
Like
that's how
I can complain about that, and then you can tell me, but in the world of Dune, in the year 10,191, they make non-vibrating engines that emit. It's like, all right.
I gotta say, I popped really hard for when that date came up. I'm not sure I've seen a 5-digit date before. Have you?
But no,
That was cool.
but I don't understand how it helps you. Like
It's so far in the future. Who the fuck knows what the rules are?
no. Here's the thing, like I always found it interesting that Star Wars starts with a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Right.
You know, it's sort of nebulous and it's interesting that it's in the past. Like
Yeah.
this is sort of what you'd expect for a sci-fi movie. It's the future. but it's so far in the future, and it's like the planet Iraq. It's where's Earth?
Gone.
I just
We
want
killed it.
some.
That's
I
possible.
I want context. All right. I
Oh.
don't require it. Battlestar Galactica doesn't give you context. You don't find out what time it is till the finale.
Oh
But
wow.
the I don't know.
What about
It's like
Silo? You know what year it is in that?
it's the future. It's the nebulous future, but it still like resembles humanity. That's in that movie. Like
Is Lost current day? What was that?
yes, yeah. That takes place in 2004.
Okay, okay.
Time passes so slowly that, but it's like they're still airing episodes in, like 2008. The characters are still talking about it being 2004.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Did
Um.
you see Van Helsing?
Yeah. Well, they did that on the OC, as you saw him
I was
speak.
watching it on the plane. I didn't get to finish it.
Oh. Um.
She
All
said,
right.
"Too bad," and then it cut off. I don't know what she said after that.
Jesus Christ. All right. Dune is super. It's been going on a long time, so let's just get into it. It's a complicated
Yeah,
franchise.
yeah, yeah.
Um.
You love Lynch. I gotta say, didn't really feel much. I mean, I've only seen a couple Lynch movies, like literally a couple. I think two of them, but I didn't feel much Lynch in this Dune. What about you?
I know the moments that feel like Lynch to me, but I mean Lynch has basically disowned this movie.
Oh wow, yeah.
When it aired on TV in the 80s, he changed the director name to Alan Smithy. Like he really doesn't give a
Oh
shit about this movie. He says he sold out.
yeah,
Like he said he just like every decision he kowtowed to the studio and he was like fuck it.
yeah. It kind of seems like it.
Yeah. Um all right. So Frank Herbert wrote this novel in 1965. Came out August 1965. I'm gonna go through this really fast.
Have
Like
you
if you
read it
really yes, I have.
and you
Um
like it or what?
it was fine. When I was in college, I wanted to fuck this girl in my I was taking this like summer science class.
So bad that you were in a summer class to do it, or it just happened she was in there.
I hated science, right? So I knew like the only way I'd be able to like pass the science class if it was the only thing I was taking.
Oh,
So
okay.
I just like took it one summer semester. And there was this girl Amanda in my class. I was into her, and she was reading Dune. She like was bringing it to class every day. So she lent me her copy, and I read it.
And you actually read it. You got into it.
I
You
did. Well,
finished
I
it.
didn't get into it, but I finished it. Yeah, so we could talk about it. It worked.
Okay.
So,
It
but
worked. You sealed the deal.
yeah, I did.
Oh, hell yeah.
But anyway, I mean, it was just never for me. Like the second I started reading it, like they're talking about the spice melange, and like it's a lot of that like opening monologue that like Virginia Madsen has in David Lynch's version. They're like
Right.
telling you like the history of the land and the Harkonnens and the fucking you know like it's going through it, and I'm like the Padishah Emperor Shaddah the Fourth. You know, he's in charge of the spice melange, which is a drug that's crucial for bending time for space travel. And I'm just like, fucking get me out of here.
Yeah,
Get me
you
the
really have that
fuck out
problem.
of here.
Because I was watching it and I was thinking this is very similar to that Kate Blanchett stuff at the beginning of Lord of the Rings. And at that point you were out too.
I've told that story the first
Right.
time I
So you
saw Lord of the
really don't
Rings.
like this.
Here's the thing. My impulse, just as a human being, is when I hear shit like that, I tune the fuck out. And so when I
I
was
get it.
watching Dune this time, I really tried to do the thing I did like Lord of the Rings, which is like I tried to like turn a switch in my brain where I'm able to take that stuff seriously. And so I'm able to remember it. And therefore I'm able to follow the movie for the first time ever, really.
Yeah,
And
just
so
trick yourself into thinking you care and you really want to
that's what
retain
I
this
did. I
information.
swear to you, that's what I did this time.
Yeah,
It
I do
worked.
that sometimes too, yeah.
Yeah. Um Okay. So the book comes out in 1965. It's a hit, even though it's sort of a dense sci-fi novel. And it was optioned in 1971 by a producer named Arthur P. Jacobs. Okay. In his contract, he had to produce a film by 1980 or lose the rights. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, Unfortunately, he hires David Lean to be director, which could have been very interesting. He's the guy who directed Lawrence of fucking Arabia.
So this would have
Um,
been longer, probably.
but it might have been fucking gorgeous looking. Um, but Arthur P. Jacobs dies suddenly in 1973, and the whole project pretty much falls apart. He was like the one really shuttling the thing.
Hmm.
Um, so the rights are bought by a firm led by Alejandro Jodorowsky in 1974. Okay. He puts together a number of people. A lot of the people that worked on his version of the movie go on to work on the first Alien.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Um, in fact, they say a lot of the ideas, like the Harkonnen ideas, were like used for like the Alien project, the planet on Alien. You
Can
know what
I
I mean?
say, yeah, you say Harkonnen, which is 100% the way they say it in the first Dune.
Planet Edie Prime, home of House Harkonnen.
And then the Dune Part 1 starts. Zendaya's doing voiceover. She says Harkonnen.
These outsiders, the Harkonnens, came long before I was born.
I
My
noticed
soul
this.
leaves my body. Dan. I hate Harkonnen. I'm Team Harkonnen all the way.
Oh,
What do you think?
I love it. You know, my girlfriend is very much Team Harkonnen.
Oh, I hate Harkonnen.
Yeah,
It's so fucking lame.
I'm with you. David Lynch trained me for years that the villains in Dune are the Harkonnens. Okay,
Harkonnen sounds so
they'll
hard
always
and
be the
cool.
Harkonnens to me.
Yeah. Harkonnen all the way. I hope they change it.
It
in the next
sounds
one.
more like a house, right? You know, like the house names, House Atreides. You know, House Harkonnen sounds way cooler than House Harkonnen. Like I feel
Exactly.
like a dude named Harkonnen would have the first name of like Clint, and a dude with the last name of Harkonnen would have the first name Seymour. Seymour
Yeah.
Harkonnen would get his ass kicked by Clint Harkonnen.
Yeah, I agree. Harkonnen sounds like the name of a sharpshooter in the NBA, like a guy who just like stands there and shoots threes, like a Sam Harkonnen or something like that.
I'm just thinking about Bret Hart now. I'm so sorry.
Bret Hart.
You said sharpshooter.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Doesn't
Okay.
sound like the villain house, and I don't know.
I know.
Harkonnen all the way.
Harkonnen's cooler, man.
I'm glad you agree.
I bet you though, like Herbert intended it to be Harkonnen because I feel like Villeneuve is just so beholden to the book.
I don't know. Really, I didn't like it. It seemed like when they changed the spelling of the Hannibal Lecter. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
for the
Like, what's
worse.
the point? Yeah. All right. So if you really want to know more about Jodorowsky's Dune, I recommend watching the 2013 documentary Jodorowsky's Dune, which is absolutely amazing and really like follows that whole process to the beginning of, like, by the end of that movie, you really kind of feel like you've seen Jodorowsky's version of Dune. He
Okay.
takes you through it like scene by scene. And he even says at the end of that movie, which I always found very moving, like he says he doesn't feel any real regrets because like he feels like he made the movie in his head. Like he sees it in his
That's
head.
fun.
And so he's like, it's okay.
Wow, that's very.
He
cool.
also said that when he heard David Lynch was making Dune, he thought he was really jealous because he thought David Lynch would be the only director in the world that would be able to pull it off. And then he didn't want to see the movie, but his son or something made him watch it. And he said like 20 minutes in, he started getting really happy because he realized it was bad.
Oh wow, 20 minutes in, he hated it.
Yeah, he was just like, "Oh, this is great. Like it's not gonna like replace mine."
Oh wow, I didn't have that feeling. I didn't think.
Yeah. All right. So after the Jodorowsky thing falls apart, Dino De Laurentiis buys the rights in 1976, and he again has 10 years to make a movie. He hires Frank Herbert, straight up the writer of the novel, to write an adaptation, and he comes up with a 175-page script. Dino De Laurentiis is like, that's too long.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So he hires a fellow by the name of Ridley Scott
Oh.
in 1979, right after Alien, because he's like, the whole crew of Alien already worked on Dune for years. maybe if I hire Ridley Scott, he could just get all those people and they'll all know what they're doing.
That'd be cool.
It's actually a really good idea, I think, by
Right.
Tino De Laurentiis. So Ridley's working on it, and he decides he's going to do it as a 2-movie adaptation, much like Villeneuve eventually does. But he has trouble focusing on it. It's like a big undertaking, and his brother dies. Did you know there's a third Scott brother? I didn't know that until I read this.
No, I guess not.
Yeah, evidently there's another Scott brother that died between Alien and Blade Runner, and that's why there's like a long break between Ridley Scott movies in that time. I mean, long for him.
Right.
Um,
Is this
and
did Ridley meet Sean Young here?
oh yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Um. Anyway, so he splits to do Blade Runner. They replace him with Lynch. Lynch had a lot of heat on him because he just done The Elephant Man. You got to understand, like Lynch had a. You know how now anyone who like directs any indie movie that's like well received then gets hired to do like Marvel movies and shit.
Right.
Back like this is what Lynch was going through in this particular moment of his career. He directed Eraserhead, which was this crazy art film that like nobody knew what to do with. But then he followed it up with The Elephant Man, which was a movie that had like Oscar attention and BAFTA attention and shit. And so
Had Bradley Cooper's attention.
they certainly did. And so after that came out, studios started thinking like maybe this is a guy who can make movies that people would want to see.
Right.
They were wrong, but they were thinking this. Lynch says he was offered Return of the Jedi at one point. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. He turned that down. He didn't think he could do anything with it or something. But like he said yes to Dune. He loved the book like anybody else, and he agreed to do it. But once he got hired, he realized like the project really wasn't his.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
So he wrote 2 movies, apparently, David Lynch. He evidently originally was going to do the Villeneuve thing, and then the studio pressured him into condensing it into 1. And Lynch was like, 1? I was thinking about expanding it into 3. And they're like, no, you got to do 1. And he's like, all right, I guess.
Well, let me say, from what I've seen, I think the 2-movie format might work better than the 1-movie format.
No, it doesn't.
When we like sped ahead, we were like 2 years later, we're married, we're doing this, we were fighting Thade. And then I watched the second movie and I was like, oh, I think that they split up exactly what needed to be split up. He doesn't have the relationship with Zendaya yet. We haven't met Thade. We don't even know Florence Pugh yet.
Can I say this? Villeneuve's Dune Part 2 that we're gonna go watch this weekend. I am after watching Lynch's Dune and Villeneuve's first Dune. I am absolutely dreading this movie.
The runtime is the only thing I'm not excited
How
for.
long is it?
It's like 240.
Okay, so here's what I'm really worried about. I really paid attention in the David Lynch movie to where the Villeneuve movie stops.
Okay. I
Okay?
didn't know yet.
Yeah. And it stops with 45 minutes left in the David Lynch movie.
Yeah, so that's going to be 245 now.
So this is a 2-hour and 45-minute adaptation of 45 minutes of that David Lynch movie. Okay? And I paid attention to what happened, and you're right. There is some like jumping through time and shit, so like that'll cover some time. But what I realized was a lot of it is battles. All right. And I understand why it's only 45 minutes in a David Lynch movie, because David Lynch doesn't have interest in fucking space battles. He doesn't give a shit. So that's what I'm worried here. This is going to be 2 hours and fucking 45 minutes of space battles in between scenes of Timothy Chalamet.
You think Denis cares about that much?
And Zendaya mooning at each other.
Oh, if they moon us, that would be incredible. That'd be the best movie of all time.
Making little bright blue eyes at each other.
Well, she only has the blue eyes, right?
He's gonna get them though.
Really? She's gonna turn him? Can you turn them
No,
into Fremen?
I think like you get that over time of exposure to the spice. And
Oh, that's pretty
Kyle
cool.
MacLachlan gets the eyes in the first
You're
movie.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. Goddamn, I didn't think about that. Also, I mean, I mean, nothing you said has deterred me away from that movie because we do jump 2 years ahead. We're gonna get 2 full years probably in this next movie, and that sounds pretty cool to me. And we haven't met the little sister yet.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to
Alicia
meet
Witt.
her.
That blew my mind. Like
That's the little girl.
the little girl in the David Lynch movie was like an actress who's like still working.
I mean, she seemed talented. It kind of makes sense.
But it's just wild. Like, I've seen that movie before and I never noticed who it was. It's like I just watched Friday Night Lights
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's in that. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. How old is she back then?
In Friday Night Lights?
No, back in Dune.
Oh, I mean, she's a little kid, you know? Like
Yeah.
so I always thought the first thing I ever saw her in was this sitcom in the 90s called Sybil, where she played like Sybil Shepherd's like angsty teenage daughter, you
Mhm.
know? But I guess she didn't start as a teenager. She started well before that. She's in fucking Dune.
Yeah, who knew? Not you.
Yeah, not me. All right. So Lynch
Original
writes it.
Dune.
Yeah, Lynch does it. It comes out December 14th, 1984
Wow.
on a budget of honestly astronomical budget for 1984, $42 million.
Oh, really? What is that?
Yeah.
100 million?
It's like 200 million now.
200 million.
Yeah.
Is there any way to
And
fake that?
no. I mean probably, but I'm not going to. And it only made 37.9 million at the box office. Lost a little bit of money. Came in at number 28 for the year. Between number 27, Conan the Destroyer, which we'll cover someday, and number 29, The Gods Must Be Crazy, which I believe we'll cover someday. I'm pretty sure there's a The Gods Must Be Crazy too.
I've never ever heard of that. But let me say it is about $134 million today.
Okay. That's big. Big budget.
I guess. Not as I mean, Doom Part 1 probably cost $220 million.
It cost 165 million. So about the
Okay.
same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Lynch. All right. This was nominated for a couple of awards. Do you want to go through them?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oscars, it's the red carpet, it's the red carpet and the gowns and the tuxes. The Oscars, it's the big night for Hollywood, the red carpet and the golden man.
Oscars. I didn't know this. David Lynch's Dune was nominated for 1 Oscar.
Okay. Art direction or whatever.
No, sound.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But it lost to Amadeus. Now, because Amadeus, that's a movie about music. So it wins the
Right.
sound award.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
You think Maestro is gonna win the sound award?
It could, unless there's
Is
something
there
with
a
lots
war
of,
movie?
yeah, that's the thing. Unless there's something with lots of bullets.
I don't think there was a war movie last year.
Well, how wary is Zone of Interest?
I haven't seen it, but I don't think very much, right? It's about
Yeah, I don't
people
think
trying to
so
live
either.
in a society. We live in a
but
society.
it takes place during World War II, though. So I was
Right,
just
but that's not the
wondering.
main thing.
I haven't seen it.
It's like how in the Banshees of Inisherin, there's like a war going on, like off in the distance.
Oh yeah, on that other island. I forgot. About
Yeah, I
that.
think it's
That's
kinda like that.
That's an interesting little touch of the Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, it's kind of like how the war between them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that's the priority. The war in the distance is not
Yeah,
pretty. Yeah, it's a cool element.
yeah, I like that. Cool
Mhm.
movie. Shame about that fire.
Best movie.
Um,
That's my favorite. One of my favorite movies of 2020 so far.
What? Oh, of the decade, you mean?
Right. Definitely of the year it came out.
You okay with that fire?
I love it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even think
always
about
bring
it
up.
until you brought it up.
I'm sorry. I always bring it up. For some reason, I was thinking about it. The Saturn Awards.
Saturn is between Uranus and Neptune. Saturn, whoa, sci-fi blessed films.
Yeah, of course, they've got to love this shit, right?
Yeah, I knew it. Yep.
Yeah. It only won 1 award though
Okay.
for costumes.
All right.
All right. It lost special effects Best special effects to Gremlins.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. And it lost best makeup and best sci-fi film to The Terminator.
Oh, Terminator. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah. All right. So that's it.
Okay. Dune.
Yeah. All right. So it starts with this awkward like shot of Virginia Madsen just head on. I read that this was a reshoot. Like audiences like didn't understand the movie. So they just shot like Virginia Madsen at the beginning, like explaining it.
Yeah, I
I
didn't think it was
still
that
didn't
awkward. I
understand
thought
the
it was
fucking
cool.
movie. It's a good I mean, I love David Lynch. David Lynch likes these close-ups like that. There's another one later on in the movie, like when Dean Stockwell is putting that like fake tooth.
Oh, tooth.
Yeah, that shot. Like when you ask me, like, do you really see a lot of David Lynch in this movie? I see it sometimes, and that's one shot for sure. I see it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Dune.
Dune.
All right. It takes place on Arrakis for the most part.
That's
All
the
right.
spice planet, right?
Yes, that Arrakis, sometimes called Dune.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the title of this movie slash book is really just the alternate title of this planet.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, sometimes they call it like at one point the head of House Harkonnen says my Dune.
I didn't think it was the. I thought that was just because it was like sandy.
No, I only know that because Virginia Madsen at the beginning of the movie, when she's explaining it to us, says the planet Arrakis, also known as Dune. So I was like, oh, I guess so.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, that's the only planet in the universe with the spice melange,
Right.
and
Pretty powerful.
that
That can do everything.
it
Like
empowers
anything you could ever
space
need.
travel, but it's also drugs. So it's like imagine a world where oil is weed.
Yeah,
That's
pretty powerful stuff.
that's pretty powerful shit.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right. The people who live on Arrakis are the Fremen. All right. And they're like sort of Native Americans, I guess.
You think so?
Or I think they're just like
Yeah.
native.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like tribesmen of some sort. It's doing sort of the same thing that like I don't know, what are the big blue guys? The Na'vi. They're like the Na'vi.
Yeah, a little bit. They're
Yeah.
the native people of that planet. Yeah.
Yeah. Is the word Na'vi supposed to sound like native? Is that why? Because it has
I
an
don't
N,
think
an A, and a
so.
V in it.
I think that's a stretch a little bit.
I disagree.
Really?
I think it was probably
native?
Na'vit. I think it was Na'vit, and he
They
was
were
like,
like,
"It's too close. Take the
well, it
T
is
out."
unobtainium, isn't it? Or
Yeah,
whatever?
it's not like it's a subtle movie.
Because you can't obtain. It's a fucking. Yeah, you're probably right.
All right, but there are other planets, Logan. Let's not give short shrift to the other planets.
Yeah, I
like
forgot
planet
what they are.
Caladan. I wrote all this down.
That's
I
House
was really trying
Atreides
to figure
planet?
this shit out. Yeah. Planet Caladan is home of the House Atreides, which are the
I think you're adding a little flair to it.
what?
I think you're saying Atreides, and I think it's just Atreides.
Oh.
I think his
my
name's
way's
Paul
correct.
Atreides. I don't think it's Paul Atreides.
Okay, but it's pronounced with an extra I, so I might just be overpronouncing that name.
Yeah,
but
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
keep
that
doing it.
count. I mean, yeah,
Listen.
fine.
Listen, it's gonna happen.
All right, that's fine.
All right, the House of Atreides. And okay, they're good guys, I guess.
They're
For the
good
most
guys,
part.
and they're super powerful. They have this ability to like use their voice to like have powers or whatever. And so they're being set up, right? That's the whole thing.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah, they're being sent down by the Emperor to deal with the spice.
Right, and they're gonna get like it's gonna be a sneak attack, and we're gonna kill all those guys.
Oh yeah, there's a traitor in their midst. It's Dean Stockwell in this movie.
I thought it was Dan Giesling. He wasn't saying anything. I thought it was him.
No,
whole
the
time.
traitor actually succeeds in this movie, so it can't be Dan
Oh.
Giesling.
A little bit. Not really.
What? He's able to get
I mean,
that
he
tooth?
dies, and he doesn't even get his main guy to die. Right?
I guess
he,
you're right. Yeah.
he kills Brad Dourif on accident instead.
He's able to get him sent away to the Fremen, though.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
All right. Here's some more planets. You ready?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The other
All
one
right.
had 2 words. I remember that.
Yeah. This one's planet Giedi Prime.
That was cool to me.
Wait, it might be Giedi Prim, unless I just didn't write the E.
Oh, you might have forgotten the E.
Yeah. Either I forgot an E,
I thought it was Prime.
or it's
I kind of thought it was Prime.
all right. It's not Giedi Prim.
I don't think so.
Okay. It could be. You don't know with these movies.
Yeah, it could be, but I remember thinking it was Prime.
All right, that's where the House of Harkonnen lives. All right, and they're sort of like gross people.
It's Prime.
Okay, they're like, it's sort of like that big.
They're all gingers in Dune 1. That's how you know they're the bad guys.
Yeah, that's true. But in Dune 2, I mean, Denny Villeneuve's Dune, it's almost like they're all that big fat guy in Blade
Or
or Buffy's season 3.
I was watching
episode
Dune and I was like, Dan's for
14?
sure gonna mention Buffy, that Buffy episode.
Yeah, season 3, episode 14, Bad Girls.
Right.
So,
yeah, he is a bit like that guy. Especially Stellan. Stellar skateboard.
I don't know. It's just like he like emerges from like a pool of black water, like he's a fucking demonic Colonel Kurtz. It's it's whatever. So that's how they're the bad guys.
They're the bad guys. That was my Billie
You mean
Eilish.
Billie Eilish?
Impression.
Yeah.
How was that?
And lastly, there's planet Khitan.
Right.
Okay.
What did this planet ever do?
That is the home of the Emperor of the known universe.
I still don't know the Emperor. Maybe we're gonna know more about the Emperor in the next movie.
I hope so. Emperor Shaddah the Fourth.
Weird name for.
I feel like I asked my girlfriend a lot of questions about this, like how he was elected, like who he is, where he comes from, and I feel like I did not get any answers.
Well, it seems like he's a nepo baby, right? He's the 4th. The other ones were probably all kings.
Do you think they were all emperors? I don't know. Maybe Shaddah the Third was a simple plumber.
Yeah, I guess so. But if you're a simple plumber, why do you then name your next kid after you?
You got pride.
Because you keep the name alive.
You know,
guess.
some
You're already
plumbers
the
are
3rd.
proud of who they are. You know.
I guess no disrespect to plumbers. I'm
I felt
nobody.
a lot of disrespect to plumbers there.
Oh really? I really don't. I'm nothing. Who am I?
That's right. You're nothing. You're not nobody. That's Bob Odenkirk.
Right.
So we we've got Paul Atreides. That's our lead. It's Kyle MacLachlan in this movie because it's a David Lynch movie.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
love that guy.
Yeah,
He's alive, right? Paul McLaughlin.
he's around. Yeah, he's doing great.
Okay.
He was supposed to be a girl, right? Like the Atreides.
Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah, right. She was supposed to
they're
have.
supposed to
women
have all
have
girls. Yeah, but Paul turned out to be a boy.
But I think
guess
only until like the next generation. I think the thing is like she was supposed to have a girl, and then her girl could have a boy.
Oh, interesting. But
I think they talk about that in the next movie. Like, well, I think the thing was she was supposed to have a girl. The girl was supposed to marry someone over there, and then they could have a boy. But my question, as soon as they brought this up, was why couldn't this boy marry a girl from over there? That's the same thing. But then in the next movie, Timothée Chalamet is like, "Hey, bros, I'll just marry someone from over there," and I was like, "Yeah, Timmy's got it."
But they don't even treat it like it's a custom. Like I feel like that would be if it was just like part of the culture. They specifically say that she broke the law by having a son.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like
How did she know?
I don't know how she controls it.
I mean, who knows? Maybe you can control it.
I mean, it's 10,191. Literally anything can be true.
Yeah, you can hover right above the ground with the worms, and they won't.
No
detect you.
vibration, no vibration whatsoever. Yeah.
So yeah, who knows?
Okay. What else? I'm going through my notes. All right.
Yeah.
Here's one I wrote
Did you
down.
like the box test? Did you like that?
Oh yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
You got to say what's in the box, so you know.
He did say. I thought that was only in the other one though. Was it in the original?
Oh, it might have been. It might have been.
I remember Timmy saying it. I don't remember.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. I like a lot of the effects in Dune. Actually, I thought the little battle between him and Patrick Stewart, where they're in
That was awesome.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, better in the original. I thought. I mean,
Yeah,
cool,
I
in the new
agree.
one, but
I didn't think it was that cool in the new one. It looked like they were playing like paintball or something.
I thought it was pretty cool. Like that little effect is like pretty unique to Dune. I haven't really seen that in other movies, but this one was like I've never seen this ever. This was so cool.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of baller.
Yeah,
Um,
that's probably one of my favorite things.
all right.
That's with Patrick
Stewart,
Stewart,
by
you
the way,
said, right?
I was surprised. I've forgotten he was in this.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
don't know.
know.
I feel like he just like emerged on Star Trek and like did not exist before that, but he
Is
did.
he already on it? Oh, this is before Star Trek.
This might be like the year Star Trek premieres.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, he's cool. He should be in the new ones. I think he fit right into Villeneuve's tone.
But then we'd have problems like we did with like one of those Hannibal Lecters where like they brought a cast member back.
But it's not that. But that's supposed to take place in the same time continuum. This is a remake. Like in Denis Villeneuve's Dune,
Yeah.
like David Lynch's Dune ceased to exist.
But it's not like but it's not like J.K. Simmons, how it's like, well, we'll never get a better J. Jonah Jameson. Got to bring J.K. back. Like it's not like Patrick Stewart's irreplaceable in this as this character.
I
Why
think he
not
is.
bring in is it
I
Brolin
mean,
in
who
the
did
new
they
one?
replace him with? Josh Brolin. He seems like there's a lot of characters. I grant you, like this might just be because the characters are more important in the second movie that hasn't been made yet. But there are a lot of characters in the first Dune that are played by actors that are like way beyond what needs to be playing them.
Yeah. But I mean, you get to work with the biggest director and I mean, it's Dune. People they want to be a part of
You
it.
know who super doesn't need to be in Dune? Oscar Isaac. And I'm really fucking sick of Oscar Isaac. I've got to say this. I feel like Oscar Isaac is an actor who has no actual interest in acting whatsoever. He just wants to like do all the shit he liked as a kid, which I guess I get. But like, it's not entertaining for me, and it's not been fun to follow his career. Like, this is coming on the heels of Star Wars, where remember he specifically asked J.J. Abrams not to kill off his character in the first movie so he could
Right.
be in the rest of the trilogy, and then proceeds to do absolutely nothing for the rest of the trilogy. All right. Similarly, I read that when he read that Denis Villeneuve signed on to make Dune, he specifically reached out to Denis Villeneuve and said, "Put me in Dune, I'll play anything."
What if he tried to make his character in this not die, even though that's like one of the big parts is that he bites the tooth and dies?
Yeah, I mean,
You're like,
wouldn't be
make me
surprised. I
live,
want to be in the
Denis.
second one. I want to be in and he might have, and he said no because he's like more of an artist than J.J. Abrams. But like, it is so crazy to me. This Oscar Isaac, like, he used to be a really promising actor, and now he's just like Poe Dameron and this fucking thing and Moon Knight. Like, Jesus
Moon Knight.
Christ, dude.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I never really thought about it that way, but he just like wants to live the lifestyle of an actor, but he hasn't really stepped up to like lived up to the expectation, I feel like. And I had the same thought. Like I feel like he also kind of shit talked those Star Wars movies, but then he's been in both the remakes of Star Wars, and then this one.
Yeah.
He loves it. He doesn't care.
No, he'll talk shit if it's not a success, but this is all he actually wants to do. He has no interest in acting. Like,
Yeah.
he's sort of the opposite of Mark Ruffalo.
Really? What did Mark Ruffalo do?
I just feel like they're similar actors. Like they have a similar
They look
soft-spoken
similar.
style. They're both
curly
like,
hair.
yeah, sort of darker, olive-skinned brunette men. I just think like Mark Ruffalo, he like really gives a shit about the craft of acting, and
I mean, he's
I'm
been
not-
in Marvel for 15 years.
but I'm trying to compare him like to someone like Mark Ruffalo will indulge that side and he will make money, but he will
But he'll
also
do Spotlight.
never stop doing shit like Poor Things or Spotlight or I Know This Much Is True or Dark Waters. Like he'll always be doing shit like that.
That's a good call. I want to shout out John Boyega though, who said I hate Star Wars and then stuck to it. Never
What
went
do you
back.
mean?
He always shit on Star Wars same way that Oscar Isaac did, but he never like went back to it. I mean,
Did
he was in
Oscar
all three of
Isaac
the
go
movies.
back to Star Wars?
I mean, he went to Dune, which is the same thing as Star Wars.
Oh, it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not.
Okay.
But it is in that like George Lucas ripped it off. Maybe he had a bad experience on Star Wars. He was like, "Well, let me be in the original Star Wars."
It is Star Wars. I was trying to like make the comparisons to Star Wars, and there are a lot of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, desert planet, fucking kid Messiah, who's like, from
Well, he has like a lonelier kid on Star Wars, which I actually think works a lot better. What do you think?
in Star
Like here,
Wars.
he's like a prince, kind of like his dad's the king, and his like mom's powerful, and he's powerful. But in Star Wars, he comes from nothing. I mean, what
It's
you
a,
think?
it's sort of a slightly different thing in Star Wars. It's like in that movie, like Luke Skywalker trains his ass off and becomes a Jedi. This is a bit more of a Mary Sue situation, if you
Well,
ask
listen to
me,
you.
where like I feel like Paul is a god. Like
But
from
they've been
the
teaching him like his whole life, I think, is what we're
No,
supposed to get.
I understand that. Yeah, I mean that's what the thing with Patrick Stewart is with those little boxes.
And his
But
mom, like teaching him with the voices and stuff.
that's a lot more in the Villeneuve film, which I actually
Right.
appreciated.
Me too.
Yeah, but I just think like this is a kid who has been like destined to be God from the second he was born. Luke Skywalker has like lineage, like his dad's Darth Vader or something, so he's probably always going to be a Jedi. But like this kid is God.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm saying it works better for Star Wars. He's not as amazing as this guy is to start out with. So I think it works better
Yeah.
with it. But we get a quote here. I wrote down, "May the hand of God be with you," which is "May the Force be with you," basically.
Yeah. There's even like ancient weapon. Like how like the Jedi have the lightsaber. In this they give them these little swords made out of sandworm teeth.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tooths. Yeah.
Tooths.
It's a little similar
The
to that.
tooth. The
At,
tooth.
at one point they show two moons in the same shot. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's just Star Wars. They do the same thing.
It was a cool shot too, and I like that they say like one of the moons is huge, like it really
Yeah.
dwarfs the other one. Yeah, it's badass. Like there's a lot of cool world building in this, and I feel like that's the strength of Dune, right?
Yeah.
It's that's all it is. The story doesn't really interest me, to be honest.
I kind of got on
But
board. I don't know. The battle
I
for the
got,
spice.
yeah.
What are they going to use the spice for? Just whatever they want to.
They say at one point, I was really like cued into this. All right. There's like a huge storyline. They say the spice is the worm,
Hmm.
you know? And I was like, that's interesting. And at first I thought it meant that like there was this conspiracy, right? And that the things that people were like consuming as the spice was actually like ground up worm,
Oh.
like dead sandworm. All right.
What do they mean by it?
But they reveal later on in the movie what it is. It's kind of true, but kind of not. The spice is sandworm larva.
Huh.
Okay,
All
and
of
so
it?
yeah, and that's why like there's a mystery in both of these movies that's sort of just like under the surface where they're talking about like why are the sandworms so protective of the spice? We don't have an answer for that. And the
Right.
reason is that the spice is their baby.
And so we don't want to kill the sandworms because then we will run out of spice, right?
That's right.
Wow. It's pretty cool. It's like how flies and stuff actually do good for us.
Right. Like you're not supposed to kill spiders
Or
because they take
bees.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, they do a lot of good, so you don't want to kill them.
Oh, bees. You got to protect the bees, bro. I
For
learned that
sure.
from Damon John on Shark Tank.
But when you're a kid, you're like, fucking bee, kill it.
Yeah, true. Oh,
One time
man.
I
I remember.
sat on a bee. We were like we had like a picnic going on. We had a blanket on the
Mhm,
ground. I
mhm.
went. I sat on my knee. Guess what was under my knee? A fucking
Yeah.
bee stung me.
I have
Terrible experience.
similar experience, Logan. I'm a kid. I'm sitting on a tennis court. All right.
But
Crisscross
it's hot.
applesauce. Yeah, it is hot. I'm wearing shorts just on
Ooh,
my butt. Indian style. That's what we called it back then. It was
crisscross
offensive.
applesauce. We say
Okay.
today.
Yeah, yeah. But I was sitting there. I remember looking down in my lap and just watching a bee.
Oh
Like just
goodness.
very quickly. It just swooped down in the crevice that like my crossed legs were creating and just stung my inner thigh.
Oh,
Horrible.
Yeah, you just ran around the court screaming?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I
What
remember
else is
I
there to
remember
do?
exactly what it
You just
felt
ran the
like.
pain off a little
Yeah.
bit. Were
Mhm.
people there laughing at you?
I'm sure my dad was like, "Hey, faggot!" No,
You were like there watching a match, like two other people were playing.
I'm
maybe
sure,
four.
like, my dad was playing tennis, and I was just like stuck there. I was like,
Well,
do
I'm
whatever.
very sorry that happened.
Yeah, it's all right. Um, all right. Let me give you more notes.
I just like wrote down like a million things.
Me too. Like some of it, I'm not even sure is important. Like I have this one note. That seemed important at the time. The Harkonnens really want to steal the ducal signal ring from the Atreides.
Yeah, that's kind of seemed it's more important in this first one. The next movie, it's not
Yeah.
really a thing.
I don't know what it was though.
I don't know. It was like the Duke guy, Leto, Paul's dad. He had a ring, but then Paul, it randomly ends up like it's on Paul's backpack at one point. He's like, "Oh wait, I have the ring. It's mine." So he puts it on, and now he has it. Didn't really matter, I think.
Yeah. That was like a thread I really didn't need to be following.
Yeah. Well, they realized in the next one doesn't matter.
All right. There's Oh, right. The Harkonnens are working with a mystery trader. That's Dean Stockwell in this movie. Dean Stockwell. He's interesting. He's an actor who always does seem to be giving his all, but I only ever see this guy in nerd shit. Like I've seen this guy in this, Quantum Leap, and Battlestar Galactica, and that's like it.
Yeah, I think I just know him more as a face and a name than anything.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. They get to Fremen, right?
We have some before we get to all that stuff. What do you think about that guy that there's like a huge giant worm alien at the beginning in a tube who like gives them the mission? I feel like he's not in the second
Oh
one.
yeah,
He was cool. Is he
Yeah.
is he like the emperor?
Oh yeah, he must be.
That alien like worm is the emperor?
It's possible. Yeah, like in Marvel, the Kree, they always had a thing called the Supreme Intelligence, and he was just a head in a tube. That's a
Huh.
trope.
Because I kept wondering. I feel like I was like, have we seen this emperor? Who is this guy? But maybe it's that guy. What do you think about Leto? Is it Leto? Is that his name?
Yeah, it's not Leto. I was
Right.
careful about that.
He had. I was thinking at one point they could have easily gotten him because Denis worked with him in Blade Runner 2049. He could have just brought him over.
You think Leto is fucking? He was probably furious they didn't cast him as fucking Leto.
Yeah, he had to have been.
Yeah,
That's when he went to his island. He was like, "Fuck this shit. I'm going to my
starting
island."
a cult.
Yeah. He has a pug. You like his little pug?
I loved it.
What happened to it? I feel like we lost the pug.
Well, the last we see of it, I noticed it actually. The last we see of it, it's during a battle sequence, and you see it just sort of like running around the castle grounds or whatever.
Okay, all right, that makes me happy.
Yeah, yeah. So the last we see it, it's alive, but like it's in no one's possession. It's just sort of running around.
Okay, yeah, I feel like I lost that thread. I like that drink. There's a point where a guy like
Wait, I want to say more about the pug.
Okay, yeah.
One, I thought it was interesting. Like, of all creatures to survive, like, from 1984 all the way to 10,191 through all this space
Pugs.
travel. Like, I don't think they're in our galaxy. Like, I don't think like fucking the planet Giedi Prime like used to be Earth or something.
No,
I
don't think so.
This is like completely disconnected. Like we haven't been on Earth in centuries, but
I
still
agree.
we have pugs.
We have pugs. We have I think rats. I think somebody had a drink where you crush the rat and then you can
Yeah.
slurp its guts out.
I
Which was
liked
actually a
that.
cool invention. I think those should exist. Maybe not for rats, but for for oranges. Like you can put an orange in, squash it, and drink it straight out of the thing.
Isn't that like what a juicer is?
Can you do but do those have sippy cups? Like you can squash it and then drink it straight out of the thing?
That's a good question, man. Speaking of Damon John, you need to maybe bring this idea to a couple of folks.
I saw this on Dune, and now I'm gonna pitch it to you guys. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think
Sharks,
it should be a thing.
what do you think of my new invention, the rat cracker?
The rat cracker. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It sounds so.
I'm
Disgusting.
seeking $200,000 for 15% of my new invention, the rat cracker.
I think that Lori would be on board.
Lori, Damon, Barbara,
What do you call him,
Mark,
Damon?
Kevin.
Is his name
You
Damon?
have, yeah, Damon John. You have your own personalized rat cracker with your own catchphrase on the side. All right, Mr. Wonderful, yours says, "You're dead to me." Mark Cuban, yours says, "Go Mavs."
Go Mavs.
Lori, yours is branded with QVC logo. And Barbara, yours is about how horny you are.
Does it make you dislike Cuban more that he allowed Kyrie on his team?
It did bother me. But I liked the way he talked about it in interviews. So he saved it a little bit.
Okay, I didn't
He was
really notice.
very aware of it.
Well, you're not gonna be. What if you're like, what did Kyrie do? What
No,
if they're like,
of
how'd you like
course.
Kyrie on the team after what he did? He's like, what? Kyrie?
Of
What do
course
you
he's
mean?
gonna be aware of it, but he could have just been like, everyone deserves a second chance, whatever. But he really got into it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
They probably had to send him to like some seminars, right? Send him to like some classes, like be nice to people
Probably,
classes.
or maybe like have someone in the locker room, or I don't know,
yeah,
like a sensitivity trainer, or
monitor,
something.
yeah, trainer, right?
I don't know. Um, it's like what they have intimacy coordinators on movie sets now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's why sex scenes aren't sexy anymore.
What about Oppenheimer? Very sexy.
Was it? Okay, so. Oh, what else you got? But I'm up to Fremen.
Probably
so
so
if you have
much.
any notes before that,
Do you like that
fucking-
little motion detecting guy? He's
motion?
cool.
Remind me of that.
It's like I think it's like more like a needle in the first one, but then it's like a bug in the second one. He's cool.
Dude, I way preferred it in David Lynch's version.
The floating needle.
I thought the floating hypodermic needle, and by the way, with David Lynch doing POV hypodermic needle shots during that sequence.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that shit was genuinely scary. If I'm sitting in my fucking bedroom and a fucking floating hypodermic needle showed up, I would be absolutely terrified. That is so scary. But I don't know. It's so tiny. It's so tiny. In the Villeneuve version, it's almost like he has to be a god to detect it. It's like playing up that side of him, like his Jedi-ness or whatever. And I don't know, that it's just slightly less.
But he does the same thing in the first one where it goes crashing at the woman and then he saves her.
I know, but just the thing itself in the first one is much scarier to me.
I agree with you, but also it's a bug in the second one, so that's also pretty scary because there could be could be like a moth in the house, and I'd be scared of that. But if it's
just
unknown
like it's
bug,
like a special effect bug. It reminded me of those fucking
Not to
things
him.
that sneak into Anakin's bedroom in Attack of the Clones.
the little slithery guy.
Yeah,
Those are worms,
yeah.
I think
Well-
I did get similar vibes though.
Yeah.
That was the same thing. But yeah, I agree with you. So needle better. What do we think about his Duncan in this one? I feel like Duncan was just like a random guy in this one,
Boy
kind of.
Duncan's chest.
And then in the second one, it's Jason Momoa.
Yeah, I was calling him Dakota, Idaho. He's like, what is his name though?
Duncan, Idaho.
Oh, it is Idaho. Okay.
Yeah, weirdly.
All right, so Duncan, Idaho. he's the Han Solo.
I thought he was more like Luke has a friend who dies in battle in the first one. He's more like that guy.
Oh, like Dak Rendar or something at the beginning of Empire.
I don't know. No, it's in the first one. It's like he has a friend like Chicken or something. It's not Chicken, but he has a friend who just dies at the end of. Maybe it's something like that. He has a friend who just dies. People know what I'm talking about.
All right.
But see, you seem more like that guy. But then in the other one, it's Jason Momoa, and he's got like 8 scenes.
He's that way in this one too. He
has 2 scenes, I think.
No, he's definitely less prominent in the David Lynch movie, but I think in both movies he's meant to be like a lovable rogue. Like for me, it was clearly the Han Solo archetype.
But Han Solo doesn't die in the first. The whole point of this is supposed to be like a meaningful death. Han Solo isn't that character.
I don't even remember this character dying, to be honest.
Oh yeah, he dies in this one. He gets shot kind of unceremoniously, but then in the other one, it's made more of a big deal. but
Momoa dies in the fucking second
he
one?
sacrifices himself in the second
I
one so they
don't
can get
remember
out.
this, and I watched this yesterday.
Yeah, it's like Paul. Yeah, it's like Paul with his mom. What's her name? Lady Jessica. And they're like cornered, and Jason Momoa is like, "I got you guys," and he goes and he sacrifices himself.
Huh. All right.
And I actually knew he was gonna die because I knew he was not in the upcoming movie, so that sucked.
Oh, he's not in the upcoming movie?
Oh,
Oh,
did I
yeah.
just spoil
Well,
you
he's
on that?
dead.
Oh,
Well, I
yeah,
mean, I
he's
guess
dead.
I should have known that, but
I mean, he
I
may be in
really
a
didn't.
he may be in it in a flashback or something. But
I mean, what's
yeah.
this next movie is it's going to be a lot of Zendaya. It's going to be a lot of Bardem, right?
Austin Butler is the bad guy.
What?
You didn't know this?
No.
Austin Butler plays Thade,
Who stayed?
the bad guy from the original, the guy who has the duel with at the end. In the new Dune, he fights a rando, and in Dune the old one, he fights
Oh.
this villain Thade, and Thade is is it Thade or Fade?
The
I might be
black
saying it
guy?
wrong. The black guy in the new Dune is not a character in the old Dune.
Right.
In the old Dune, he fights like this actual villain. It's either Thade or Fade. I forgot his name. I wrote it down somewhere.
Oh, so they probably consolidated that. They were
And
like,
now
well,
in
we
the
need
new
to
one-
introduce the villain, so let's make it
Yes.
that.
Which is
So,
why I like they're splitting it up. I think that they did a good job of knowing what's necessary in 1 and 2. I think they're doing a good
here's
job.
my problem. I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to the Villeneuve movie. I just don't feel like there's any narrative propulsion whatsoever. Like, I don't know why I'm following the movie. It's basically 2 hours and 40 minutes of world building with no narrative tension.
And we'll get into it. Let's finish Dune Part 1 or Dune the original Dune.
Well, what else do you want to say?
A crazy part here where they do it in the other one too, but where Paul starts flying a plane like with one wing, the wing breaks off and he starts flying the plane. And I think he does a way better job in the original Dune. I think he flies it with one wing for longer, and I think his landing is softer.
Can I say though,
Yeah,
those little dragonfly planes in the new Dune are
Right.
cool.
they are cool. Yeah,
Yeah. There's one shot where like Mark Ruffalo needs to get lower. So like the wings just like stop moving and he does like a free dive. Like he
Yeah,
just like a
sick.
nose dive down and then the wings kick back in and he's able to glide it. It is cool as hell, man.
yeah, I agree with you. I
I'm
agree.
not always into that kind of shit, but that got me.
Yeah, I'm glad you don't hate all of it. I guess.
No, I mean if there's some cool technology, I think lightsabers are cool.
Yeah. What do we think about Brad Dourif? We haven't talked about him, but he's
around.
great.
He's got real big eyebrows.
Yeah,
He's
not the biggest. Isn't there someone with bigger eyebrows though?
Well, I feel like the main Harkonnen, who by the way is way more prominent in the David Lynch version than the Villeneuve version, which I was surprised by. Like,
Right. Well, he dies in the Villeneuve version, kind of, but then they bring him back.
but like so he's so prominent. Like he's really the main villain in the David Lynch version, and I thought it was a really fun performance by by the actor.
Right.
Who was it?
Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah.
Kenneth
I don't even-
McMillan.
Kenneth McMillan. Okay, yeah. He character actor, interesting guy. But he's in Amadeus too. Right around this time, I think same year. But
Yeah, you said, yeah.
he gives a really fun performance. So I was like, I asked my girlfriend like, who plays this character in the Villeneuve version, and she goes Stellar Skateboard. Stellan Skarsgård.
Right.
And I was like, that is the most boring possible choice.
What? You don't like Stellar?
He's not exciting. He doesn't do fun shit. Like I like Stellan Skarsgård, but he exists in movies to be like the dicky therapist in
You
Good
want
Will
them to get
Hunting.
Mr. Bean to play the new Dune villain?
I don't want it to be Mr. Bean, but like I want it to be someone who's like a little more charismatic.
Jake Gyllenhaal. What do we think?
How about like someone like Ben Kingsley?
Boring.
Boring? All right.
A little boring. I don't know. I mean, he's no better than Stellar Skateboard.
I just think that like
What
It
about
was just the
Alexander Skateboard?
that would have been better, sure. It was just the first name I thought of. I'm just saying, like Stellan Skarsgård, he doesn't really bring anything unpredictable to it.
Woody.
Or exciting. Woody Harrelson, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
like
he'd be
I
cool.
mean, Although, like, I thought he was going to be such an exciting Carnage, and that turned out to be
Oh, yeah,
good.
Well, I never
Yeah.
saw Let There Be Carnage. I'm saving
Yeah.
it for the podcast. Why do you watch all these movies?
Because I
Have you seen Aquaman 2? Or
no, I'm
Okay.
saving for. There are some, like,
But like the Meg
Marvels.
too, like you save all or you
I
watch all
know.
of them.
I'm starting to more. I'm saving the Marvels for when we do Captain Marvel. Like I am doing that, but
Okay.
when like sometimes there's like a Venom movie out and Woody Harrelson is playing Carnage, I'm just like I gotta watch that.
That's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, Stellan skateboard. Yeah, he was boring. Where are we? Oh, they get to the Fremen and they tame a worm. Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
that was fun. I like that scene in the Lynch version where Kyle MacLachlan's riding on the back of a worm.
Yeah, they didn't really do that in Dune.
No,
We really got to that. There is somebody at the end. We see
because
somebody riding a worm.
The
right?
worms are too fucking big in the new one. They are enormous.
Well, I think we just haven't skipped ahead to this is probably when we skip ahead 2 years. We haven't gotten to that part yet where he's like riding worms.
Well, I'm there.
No.
And
Yeah.
no, that's what I don't think that's like that happens now. And that's when we cut forward. Like after that, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you might be right.
Yeah. But yeah, we gloss over like years and years of narration. Like I was watching that going like, oh, okay, so here's the second movie.
I was not into it. Like in that moment, I felt a little.
It's
the movie.
It's dumb. No, for sure. Like this is clearly like, David Lynch had scripts for 2 movies, and then they were like, make it 1 movie, and he was like, montage, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. He just like shred these papers montage.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yep.
Make these 10 pages a montage. All right. All right. That's all I got for this movie.
Oh, are you serious? Oh, there's so much crazy shit that happens.
So talk to me.
Jessica, she was supposed to have a little girl, so now she does. Apparently, like
Jessica. There's someone in this movie named Jessica.
Oh yeah, she's like Mother Jessica or whatever her name is. Lady Jessica is what we call her.
Is that his mom?
His mom.
That's
his
the
mom.
Rebecca Ferguson character.
That's right.
I thought they did a great job with that character in the new.
She's
Dune.
awesome, Rebecca. She's like
way better, really cool. Silo's Rebecca Ferguson, and I but I don't want to like not give credit here because while the character isn't as well developed, I did think the actress who played her in Lynch's movie was pretty good.
Same. Who was she? I feel like I'd seen her before. I didn't really do too much research.
Yeah,
Look her up. Her name is Francesca
Annis.
Francesca Annis.
Yeah.
Oh, she's from Krull. You know Krull?
She's been in Krull. I've never seen Krull.
Probably why she's here.
That was like a real hit right around this time. So yeah, that's probably why she was considered for the role.
Yeah, maybe I don't know her. But yeah, I agree. I thought that she was good. But the thing is that we have the Reverend Mother, right? She's the one who put the hand in the box. She's played by what's that old woman's name from the second one? Charlotte Rampling. She's played by her in the second
Oh,
one.
yeah.
But here she dies and like her spirit gets transported into that little girl. So that I think that's why she's so magical.
Oh my god. Yeah, and she does that fucking voice. The voice is creepy.
It's really scary.
It's honestly creepier than anything in that new Exorcist movie.
Because she's a little girl, but the little girl looks so adult, and also the voice coming out of it is so adult that it's really jarring.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Great job by young Alicia Witt.
Yeah, I agree. We had Sean Young.
Everybody get out your old episodes of Sybil and enjoy her work as a young lady.
If you want to, yeah. Sean, you like Sean Young, I guess?
Who doesn't love Sean Young? Yeah, she's a crazy person.
Oh, really? I guess so.
Yeah. I'm sure she was getting drunk and taking her boobs out on set.
Oh, wow. That's pretty fun. Yeah. I hated the part where somebody spit on somebody's face. I wrote that down.
Did that happen?
It's like a man like, I'm going to spit on your face, and he spits on her face. You don't remember that? It was really gross.
No. It happened in a wrestling match recently, and I was like, I hope that was planned. Like, if I was wrestling and the dude spit on me, I think I would give him shit afterwards.
Remember X on the beach? Somebody spit on somebody?
No, I don't remember that.
Taylor spit on... I forgot her name.
She
was on a few seasons of The Challenge.
I don't remember who
Taylor's
is.
married to Corey from The Challenge.
Oh, the crazy blonde girl?
Yeah, she spit on his ex-girlfriend.
Oh my god, what a dumb girl Taylor
was
I
crazy.
forgot about her.
Yeah. But
All right.
all right, I guess that's the end. He has the battle with Fade, who is going to be Austin Butler in the new movie. And Austin Butler, I learned, is doing a stellar impression. A stellar impression.
What do you mean?
He's doing a Stellan Skarsgård impression in the new movie. Like his voice
Why?
is like, I don't know. I guess he likes voices. He thought it'd be fun to do a Stellan impression because he's
Like-
playing like one of Stellan's henchmen. So he's like, I'm gonna do a Stellan impression.
What? Like fucking the Joker's henchman? I'll sound like the Joker? What are we
Yeah.
doing?
You want to know how I got these scars? That's what they all say.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing that, and it's pretty cool from what I've seen. I don't know. I like Austin
who can
Butler.
forget how the Foot Clan all sounds exactly like the Shredder? Like what
Yeah,
are we,
don't you
what
know
are we
that?
doing? Odd Job. Yeah, he sounds like Blofeld.
We like crazy actors. He's crazy.
I can't get on board with Austin Butler yet. He's just still I watched him for
Well, you never saw his
years.
movie.
I watched him on so many CW shows.
Well, I saw him on so many Nickelodeon and Disney shows, but I still
know,
love him.
but like, how are we taking him serious? He'll never not be the guy from the Carrie Diaries to me,
or from Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure.
or from Life Unexpected.
No, or from Zoe 101. But you gotta watch Elvis, bro, and then get back to me.
I do it.
I
I'm
give
not
it a 1.
watching-
Tim
I'm
gives
not
it a
watching
5.
Elvis. I'm never
Tell us
watching
which side
Elvis.
you're on between me and Tim.
I'll give it a 3.
I don't think you would. I think you'd either love it or hate it. I don't think anyone would give it a 3.
I feel like all divisive movies, if you wait long enough to watch them, they become 3s.
Really?
Yeah.
You think if you watch
That's
Bohemian
why-
Rhapsody, it'd
that's
be a
why-
3?
No, that was like that's just bad. But like, I'm talking divisive. Like you know how like Saltburn is now. I watched it in the heat of it. I gave it a 2. I bet if I waited a few months, I would have given it.
I watched it before everything, and I gave it a 3. Maybe I was ahead of
It's like
ahead of
it's
everything.
like I felt this way about Zola a few years ago. Remember that movie?
No.
I feel like that had like 5s and 1s on Letterboxd, and I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give this one some time, and I did, and I saw it, and it was a 3.
Interesting. I don't even know what that is. But is that how we feel about Dune? Do we give this a 3?
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess I'll give it a 3 too. I don't know. Do people like it or do people hate it? I don't even know.
I feel. You know what? I feel like for years people hated this, and like they hated that this was the Dune adaptation. They tried for years. In the year 2000s, the Sci-Fi Channel did like a mini series adaptation of Dune, and it was like more faithful to the original, but it also was boring, and the special effects were bad because it was on television in the year 2000, So like for you, to me, David Lynch's Dune deserves a reevaluation, and it deserves it right now. Okay,
Right the
because
fuck now.
if you really give a shit about Dune, then you have these Denis Villeneuve movies. Clearly, Denis Villeneuve is making the Dune that the Dune nerds have wanted for years. The same way like Peter Jackson did for Lord of the Rings or
Right.
whatever. And so great, you got it. You have your movies. Now, go back, take another look at that Lynch film. There's some cool shit in there.
What's better, this or that original Lord of the Rings, the rotoscope Lord of the Rings?
That's
think it's pretty
interesting.
close.
I really think they are very much along the same lines.
I might go this.
I might go this too. I gotta say, this is a good movie.
Yeah. I was actually worried. So you only don't like the Dune one, or do you like? I mean, I guess we'll get into it.
I don't dislike either of these. Like I think as adaptations of that book I read in college, both these movies work on different levels. It's not for me. All right, like I'll say that. Like I just don't like Dune. Like the story doesn't interest me. The world doesn't interest me that much. But I see why people are into it. I do think it's pretty cool. It's just not for me. So like, I guess I'm just like, you guys can have the new movies, and I love David Lynch.
But this is the least David Lynch movie there is, right?
Yeah, but it's still Lynchy. Like you've got like
Yeah,
a
you
bunch
said
of
you noticed
Kyle
him.
MacLachlan's the lead. You got like a bunch of random like fucking odd shit. There's some weird gross out scenes for no reason. Like the score is interesting and cool. Like some of the
Yeah.
visuals. Plus you got like Sting in there. There are choices in David Lynch's Dune that nobody but David Lynch would have made. And that's an auteur to me.
Yeah, that's fair. As this being my first time, a lot of it was just trying to like keep up with like names and like what's good, what's bad, what's the plan here exactly. So I do think I am kind of excited to watch it again. Like I'm not gonna watch it in the next couple of years or whatever, but um I'm sure I'll watch it again and I'll like it. And I like movies that just feel like you're in a different world. I mean, that kind of
Yep.
does something for me. So
Me too.
I like it. 3
Logan,
stars.
can I give my David Lynch ranking? It's probably the only time
Yeah.
I'll ever be able to do this.
What about Twin Peaks? Aren't there 2 of those?
I've explained this to you so many times. David,
Oh yeah, one's a show.
That's really just a TV show.
Yeah,
There's
it's the
one
show.
movie that's like a prequel to the TV show, but
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. As I said, I've only seen 2 of them. I think I've seen The Elephant Man, and or not The Elephant Man. I saw that first one, Eraserhead, and I saw what's that other one, Blue Velvet. And I'd rank them Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, this, I guess.
Okay. You will find that is not my ranking.
I know.
All right, I have 12 things on my David Lynch list, but 3 separate entries for Twin Peaks: original show, The Return, and Firewalk with Me, the movie.
Okay.
Okay. Number 12, Inland Empire. All right.
Right.
But everything he's made is cool. Number 11, Dune. Number 10, Eraserhead.
Oh shit.
Number 9, Lost Highway. Number 8, The Straight Story. Number 7, Wild at Heart. Number 6, The Elephant Man. Number 5, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me. Number 4, Twin Peaks, The Return.
That's a full show.
That was an 18-episode sequel series that David Lynch wrote and directed every episode of for Showtime.
And when you rank Twin Peaks, you're also ranking the whole show?
The original series, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, Mulholland Drive.
Mm.
Number 2, Blue Velvet.
Yep.
And number 1, OG Twin Peaks.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, maybe that'll be the next thing I do after the OC, Twin Peaks. You think?
Oh, I love that.
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay. All right. I give it a 3. You give it a 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's your MVP? We didn't talk about Sting at all. He's so.
I mean, we
cool
did.
looking.
He's Fade. I talked about him a lot.
Oh,
You didn't know who
Fade,
he was.
right? I guess I didn't realize who he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Fade. Yeah, man. When he comes out wearing that little, it's sort of like Namor the Submariner's little underwear, and he's like his whole torso's out. Like I think Sting has never been sexier. Like I don't think I've ever wanted to fuck Sting until that moment.
Well, get ready to see Austin Butler in that same position.
I hope so. If they listen, Denny Villeneuve will make a lot of ground with me if he puts Austin Butler in those fucking underwear.
I think that he will. I do think that he will.
I
Because
would love
Austin
it so
Butler
much.
will have seen this movie, and there's also a point where Fade like does a little excited like jump, like they're like fighting, and he jumps up and down, and I know Austin Butler's gonna do that. I saw that part, and I was like, oh, he's gonna fucking love that. He's like, I know it. So I think you're right.
Who's your MVP?
My MVP, I'm gonna go with Brad Dourif. I feel like we didn't talk about him too much, but I love him. I love his eyes. He's got such scary eyes, and his whole look, and he's so tall and thin and creepy. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Dean Stockwell.
Oh wow, yeah, you loved that tooth bit.
Yeah,
My favorite thing.
but I also thought he was cool in the whole movie, and like he's
It's only
clearly
half the movie though.
Yeah, I know, but I like how he's got that little diamond on his. I think he's supposed to be Asian because he's Asian
Really?
in the follow up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought that was a great performance.
Apparently, I want to say Max von Sydow was in the movie. I didn't really notice him
I totally noticed him. But
because there's another guy who looks like him. I thought this guy
yes,
Leonard Samino. I thought he looked like Max von Sydow
for sure. But you know why I was able to delineate between them? Did you watch the end?
I mean, I watched the
You
movie.
stay
Yeah.
for the creds? Do you stay for them creds?
Oh, like the picture credits?
Picture credits, ladies and gentlemen.
Amazing picture
Fucking
credits. One of the best
picture
ever.
credits. Delightful picture
It's like
credits.
Scream 1,
up.
Dune 2.
I'm telling you.
It's incredible, yeah.
Oh, all right. Who's your LVP?
It's a good question. I don't really. This guy Stilgar, who played.
How dare you?
I don't know.
I only say how dare you because he's played by David Lynch regular Everett McGill, a regular on Twin Peaks.
You know what I'll do? I'll go Max von Sydow. I didn't notice him.
Oh, all right. Yeah, least valuable player. You hire Max von Sydow, you don't even notice him.
I gotta say, I kind of liked everybody else. I don't know.
Okay. My LVP will be.
Jason Momoa's character.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
Duncan,
about
Idaho?
to say. Yeah,
Yeah, I just saw him,
I
yeah.
don't know. He made sense to me in the context of the new movie with Jason Momoa. He was so odd. Like Dune is all about like all this like ancient shit and like the Bene Gesserit sisterhood and the House of Atreides, and then all of a sudden you got this one guy who's like a space cowboy. I'm like, what are you doing here?
But he's not that much different from the other one. Why does it work better with Momoa, you think? Because they have like a friendship, more of a friendship. So
yeah,
when he dies,
really,
it means something.
I really do think that's why. I don't even remember the death, but honestly, like the way they set up their friendship, like that scene of them like talking near the planes and shit, it reminded me of Han and Luke.
Yeah, a little bit. But this guy's way bigger. He's like, put on some pounds, you little shrimp.
He is a little shrimp.
Like a
I have a
weird
tough time
dynamic.
looking at Timothy Chalamet. Can I say that?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he's too skinny. He's too skinny. Let me tell you a story.
He is
Logan.
really thin.
There is when I was in high school, okay, there was an actress named Tracy Gold. All right, she was in Growing Pains. She's the daughter from Growing Pains. You know who I'm talking about?
I gotta say no.
Okay. Well, Tracy Gold in real life was bulimic. All right. It got so bad, I think they had to kick her off Growing Pains or whatever. And she was like, I don't know, anorexic or bulimic. I get them mixed up. I shouldn't, but I do. And they so eventually when she had like just recovered from her like bulimia, she made a TV movie about bulimia. It was like a Lifetime movie. Okay.
Mhm.
And so when I was in high school, in Miss Krieger's health class, they showed us that movie to teach us about eating disorders. And it was every day for a week. You know, it took us like 5 days to watch the movie. Okay. Because it was just in periods. And I had health class 6th period. All right. There were 9 periods in the day. All right.
Okay. It's a lot of periods.
My lunch period was 7th period, which was the latest possible period a lunch period could be.
That's crazy.
Okay.
My school, everyone like went to lunch. Like you'll go to lunch and then you people will go to lunch 10 minutes later. Like we all went pretty close together.
No, it was like done in periods. All right. So
That's
some
crazy.
people had, I think it was from 4th to 7th. If you were lucky, you had it early. 4th period, you go at like 11 a.m. or something. But you know, I had
3
lunch
p.m.
at like,
lunch.
I had lunch at like 2 p.m. or something. All right.
That's
So, like,
terrible.
I know. So I'm sitting there for 1 week, every day for a week in this 6th period class watching this anorexia bulimia movie.
Starving.
And I remember the sensation of feeling starving.
Yeah, everyone in that class had the same schedule or what?
No, not
So some people had
necessarily.
eaten already.
Some people had eaten the period before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, oh, what a good lunch we had.
right.
Cheese
But
sticks today.
I'm sitting there. They show all these scenes with like Tracy Gold wearing like a bra, you know, so like you really
So you're
see
horny
her,
and hungry.
Her like no, I'm not horny at all. It's her because she's like recently bulimic. Okay, so her body is
Bad
like
thing to say.
it's so bony and disgusting, and it made me sick to look at. I still remember this feeling of just I need to put food in my body right now. Get me out of this class. Okay.
Yeah.
And I very rarely have felt that sensation since. And I must say that I
Watching?
felt it yesterday watching Dune Part 1.
Really? Watching Timmy.
Timothy Chalamet, there is a level of emaciation
He's the
that has
right height too, where he looks like stretched out, where he's like thin and also a little too
yeah,
tall.
he looks like fucking Jack Skellington.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, it's why he's good. It's why he's good casting for Wonka, really, because like that's kind of what you need, like just a cartoon character. But like I I had trouble there is a level of emaciation that has set in that boy because he is not eating. And I'm watching him. He's talking about the spice. I'm like, you need nutrients. Forget
Yeah.
spice. You don't need
You need a
flavor.
burrito.
You need nutrients.
Yeah.
You know,
I,
you need to sit down and like eat a bunch of avocados or something. Like I need you to be healthy.
avocados is the go-to.
I don't know. It's filling, but it's healthy. I just eat something.
Yeah, I think this by the way was 3 years ago at this point. So it's been a while. It's been a while. But he is I do think this is the like prettiest that Timothy Chalamet ever was. He's really thin and really pretty in this movie. I think it's also the hair. He has really long
Yeah,
hair.
I don't know what he looks like now. I didn't see Wonka, but as of 2021, I don't know. Maybe it helped. You know, this was probably pre-quarantine.
Yeah, probably
Maybe
filmed
he-
like 2019.
Maybe he
5,
sat
6
home
years
and
ago.
like fucking snacked. Like that's really no one needed quarantine more than Timothy Chalamet. I think he was on the verge of death.
He is very thin. By the way, remember that girl from the Children of the Corn movie? Remember they made that before COVID and then it came out after COVID? Remember we
Oh,
talked about
yeah.
how like if she doesn't have a good career, it's because
Yeah.
of COVID. Has she ever been in anything since that movie?
I don't think so. That girl
Damn.
got fucked over.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah.
I'm gonna look her up right now because she meant a lot to us at the time.
Yeah. She should have had like 4 good roles as a little kid when she was still that age, but it never
I know
happened.
she should have had like a Mara Wilson career.
I don't know who that is.
She's
Mara
you know
Wilson?
Matilda. She
Oh,
just
okay.
popped up on Melrose Place where I am right now. She was in the same episode as Jonathan Penner.
Oh, you just saw her.
Yeah, I just saw her.
You didn't notice her though?
Of course I did. I was like, no. I'm talking about Matilda, not the fucking yeah.
Oh.
Kate Moyer, Eden, right? That was the name of
Eden.
it?
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Oh, she's in 2 episodes of the new season of Jack Reacher.
Okay.
All right. Everybody go watch episodes 6 and 7 of the new season of Jack Reacher and support our good friend Kate Moyer from Children of the Corn 2020.
You're not watching Jack Reacher, are you?
No, of course not.
No, I am. Why? Of course not. You don't like
I'm
that
also
guy?
not watching Jack Tracker on Paramount Plus.
I don't know that.
It's
You don't like the guy who played Jack Reacher?
I don't know him. I don't know anything about Reacher. It's a
Oh.
fucking airport novel. I don't need to watch a TV show of it.
Okay. All right. So is that Dune 1?
That's
or
Dune
original
1.
Lynch's
Yeah.
Dune?
Let's talk about Villeneuve, huh?
Yeah. Let's do it. You got a ranking for him?
I actually do, yeah. But I want to say, did you know that before Villeneuve signed on, Peter Berg was attached to this for a couple of years?
What the fuck?
Yeah,
That
I
sounds
didn't.
crazy.
I did not know this. Evidently, between the
random.
years 2009 and 2011, Peter Berg was attached to Dune.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, me neither. I think back then, though, people thought he might be a more interesting filmmaker. Like he'd really only done like Friday Night Lights and Very Bad Things, and I don't know.
I only know Friday Night
The
Lights and all
Kingdom.
those.
He done The
Mark Wahlberg.
Kingdom, which was like an Iraqi war movie. It wasn't until like after this he started doing all those Mark Wahlberg movies, and everyone was like, "Oh, this guy sucks."
Have you seen any of them?
I've seen Battleship, but that's not one of the Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I forgot
ones,
that one. I
right?
saw that too.
Yeah, there's Lone Survivor. I haven't seen that one.
It's Lone Survivor, Patriots
Deepwater
Day.
Horizon.
Yep, and Deepwater
Yeah.
Horizon. And then
Yeah.
didn't he do Spencer Confidential too? That's another one with Mark Wahlberg.
I saw that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw. Yeah. I haven't seen any of the other ones.
I would rank them Patriots Day, Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon. Or maybe
This-
Deepwater Horizon, Lone Survivor.
It's funny that I'm saying this because I just shit on Jack Reacher, which is basically the same thing. But Spencer that series of detective novels is one of my favorite series of detective novels. I've read them all, and so I was really excited for that movie when it was announced. Even when they said it was Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg, I was like, that could be cool.
It's Post Malone, right?
Yeah, dude,
Is Wahlberg Spencer? Is he the guy?
yes, he is.
Uh
That movie is so fucking bad.
oh, I saw it. Yeah,
I gave it a 2 on Letterboxd, and I regret it. That is a 1.
I don't know what I gave it. Probably a 2.
Mm. I think I was just like happy
Yeah, I
there was a
did give it a
Spencer
2.
movie, but it is so. The more I thought about it, like that is such a terrible movie.
Eliza Schlesinger, isn't it? You remember that?
I do, yeah. She's a blonde comedian type.
So many
Um,
random people are in it. Bokeem Woodbine, Mark Maron, Post Malone, Colleen Camp. Remember her?
Yeah, Bokeem Woodbine plays Hawk, doesn't it? Who plays Hawk?
Hawk is played by Winston Duke.
Oh, okay. Right. 'Cause
Alan
that's
Arkin
like
is in it.
that's Spencer's sidekick.
Yeah, Hawk. Where's Animal?
Shut up. All right. So anyway, after the Peter Berg thing, Denis Villeneuve signed on. He evidently signed his contract 1 week after Arrival was nominated for an Oscar. It was like
Oh.
Arrival was nominated for an Oscar, and the studio was like, "Okay, you can make this."
Wow. So pre Blade Runner then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, they wanted him to make this before Blade Runner, but he was like he like had Blade Runner ready, and like Dune is apparently like Denis Villeneuve's favorite thing ever. He's like obsessed with the books and shit, and so he like really wanted to like give this the proper time. So he's like, let me go off, make Blade Runner, and then I'll like really focus in on this shit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll never understand your hate for. I really like Blade Runner 2049.
I don't hate it. Like it's fine. It's
All
just
right, I know.
these movies are all fine. But I'm never gonna watch them again because they're 2.5 hours and they're slow and they're self-serious. I don't give a shit.
I like self-serious when it calls for it.
I do too, but I don't think it really does in these cases, particularly. Like if I'm gonna reach for a Dune movie in terms of my own sensibilities, I'm always gonna reach for David Lynch. That's just
I don't think
my
that's true for me.
sensibilities.
I think
If
I'd
I'm gonna reach
probably
for a
watch
Mario
Blade-
Brothers movie, I'm gonna watch the live action one. I'm not gonna watch the cartoon. I like weird shit.
Yeah, that's what makes you different. You like the live
No,
action
it's
Mario
not even
as
it's not
opposed to the
different. It's
cartoon
not.
Mario.
I'm not trying to like, be different.
I know.
I'm just trying. That is my own sensibilities. Everyone has their own tastes when it comes to movies, and
I guess I just
that's-
thought you hated them more than you do. But you
I don't hate. I respect them. I think they're well made. I think Denis Villeneuve is such a talented filmmaker. I think he's honestly one of the most talented filmmakers making movies right now.
Him or Nolan, pick one. Go.
Villeneuve.
Do you like his movies more than Nolan?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Villeneuve, early on in his career, I mean, the first few things I saw by him were Prisoners and Arrival, which are not really like the movies he's gone on to make, like Blade Runner and Dune. They're much more humanistic. They're much more small scale. And
Sicario, remember that one?
yeah, Sicario as well. Like that's just to me what I'm interested in. Like I think Denis Villeneuve is a great filmmaker. If anything, he just hasn't made a film I've been interested in a while.
I think Nolan's a better artist. I think he has a lot more to say. I think a lot of his films are more meaningful.
I don't think so. I think for me, Arrival has more to say about humanity than any Christopher Nolan movie.
Oppenheimer.
No,
What about Dunkirk?
definitely not. I don't think Dunkirk has anything to say about shit.
Well, listen to you. All right.
You want to hear my Villeneuve ranking?
I'd love to. I've only seen 5 of them, so go ahead.
I've seen 7.
Oh, wow.
Number
Enemy and something
7.
else I haven't seen.
Yeah. Polytechnique.
Oh, yeah.
Number 7 is Dune.
Yeah.
Number 6 is Blade Runner 2049. Number 5 is Enemy. That's his Jakey G film. You seen that one?
I haven't, and it's always something I meant to watch. It's Jake and Jake, isn't it? Two Jakes?
It is, yeah. Just double Jake, double dose.
The
of
two
Jake in that
Jakes. The holy shit.
movie. You're right. That movie should be called The Two Jakes.
Wow, we figured it out.
Number 4 is I believe his first film, certainly the first one I've seen, Polytechnique, which is about a school shooting in Canada. Number 3 is Sicario. Number 2, Arrival. Number 1, Prisoners.
No, this is the one I was thinking of. Incendies.
Incendie.
Oh, listen to you.
Yeah.
That's 2010, so that's after Polytechnique.
There you go. So that's
But you
the
haven't seen
only film of his I've not seen. I believe it's on my list.
Right, it's on mine too. I actually didn't know about Polytechnique, but I knew about Incendies. I thought that was his first one.
Incendie.
Sorry. I'll never say it right. For the last 5 years, I've thought it was Incendies. That's what I always thought it was. So it'll always just be that to me from now on. But I agree. You had Sicario 2, Rival 3.
No, Sicario 3, Arrival 2.
Okay, I'd flip those. I think go Sicario 2, Arrival. I saw Arrival once, and like the hype was like at its peak. It might have been one of
Yeah.
those like with you, and I was like, all right, I get it. It's good.
Go back now. Honestly, like
Yeah.
that movie's really good, and it's Denis Villeneuve really serving a great script.
Yeah. All right, I will.
All right. Anyway, so he's our director, Villeneuve.
Yeah. When
He,
people know.
He co-wrote the script, but the script's wild. It's credited to 3 people. One of them's Villeneuve. The second one's fucking Eric Roth, the guy who wrote Forrest Gump. It's like
He's
good to
like he
see
wrote a
you,
lot
buddy.
of stuff though, right?
Yeah, he wrote everything. Like every movie that was like nominated for an Oscar in the 90s, Eric Roth wrote it.
Okay.
Or Steven Zalian, one of the two.
right.
And the other writers is fella John Spates. John Spates broke in through Hollywood through a much buzzed about screenplay. Okay, it was this screenplay. People were like, "This is the next big sci-fi movie. This is going to be amazing." They bought it up. So buzzed about it. Was number 1 on the Blacklist that year, the list of best unproduced screenplays in Hollywood, and then it was made into a film with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt called Passengers. Didn't really pan out like they thought it would.
No, it didn't. But let me say, I think Passengers might not be as bad as people say it is.
It's not. I've said that for years.
Oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
I think I might even give it a 1, and when I watched it, I was like,
No, I gave it a 2, and it's a fine 2.
good for you. Good for you. I think people shit on that for no reason.
Yeah. You know who's good in that movie? Michael Sheen.
Okay, he's like the bartender.
Yeah, he plays like a robot bartender.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
You know who else is good? Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence.
Agreed. Hey, a lot of star power, a lot of charisma in that movie.
But I didn't really buy them together. I think that was kind of the problem. It's like they don't really have chemistry that much.
But I do think like if you put Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence in a room long enough, they'd fuck.
Well, he's married. He would never do that.
I'm just saying, like, if they were like alone, like in a Siberian prison together, they'd fuck.
I think she's married too. Also, I don't think it would happen.
Listen, I'm just saying they're both incredibly beautiful people. They wouldn't be able to keep their hands off each other.
Yeah. And also, I think that they're better actors today than they were. So that movie would probably be even better
I love that.
if you put them in it. Let's redo Passengers, is what I'm saying.
I can't wait till you get to Chris Pratt in season 4 of the OC.
Oh, shit. That's very fun. Is that the last season?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, where were we?
Can I tell you something? Where
What?
I'm up to on the OC?
Yeah,
Marissa
tell me.
is gay. That's what I'm up to right now.
Olivia Wilde.
She's fucking Olivia Wilde.
All right, so she's already had her romance with Seth.
Oh, Olivia did, yeah.
Yeah. Alex, that's the character's name.
That's right,
Don't
yeah.
even worry about it. I remember everything. You can quiz me on the OC. I'll know anything.
We'll do one after the show. Like
I
we
can't
will
wait.
Buffy.
Yeah.
Get
All
on
right,
it, Tim.
Yeah. So, so that dude who wrote Passengers, yeah, he really broke through. After that, he has writing credits on this, Doctor Strange, and Prometheus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
This cost $165 million to make.
I was gonna guess that.
It came out October 22nd, 2021, and it made $434.8 million at the box office.
Now, did you watch it in the movie theater?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay.
This was when like Warner Brothers was putting shit like right on Max or HBO Max as it was called at the time. And so I was just like, fuck it, I'll watch it there.
Yeah, that was a great time. Like the Suicide Squad. Just watch it on HBO Max.
Yeah, or The Little Things with Denzel Washington. I think I watched that on HBO Max.
Yeah, I never got to that one.
Yeah.
Is that Soderbergh? What Soderbergh did?
No.
What did he do? Soderbergh did No Sudden Move is what I'm thinking of.
Right, one of the most underrated movies ever.
Yeah, you give it
I remember when
right?
No Sudden Move came out. I was like, "This is gonna be win Best Picture this year."
Whoa.
No one gave a shit.
Was that Coda? Was that year?
Well, we're gonna talk about that year right now, huh?
Oh, okay.
Um, can we talk about Coda for a second?
Yeah, you never saw it, did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, I did, and I liked it. Um,
Children
What-
of deaf adults, of course.
it's
Right?
a few years later now, right? It's 2024.
Yeah.
Can we all look back and say that was a crazy time that we put that movie on such a high pedestal?
I liked it. I think it's in my top 10 of the year. What else should have won Best Picture if not that?
I would give it to
Shiva,
fucking
baby.
Dune over that.
Soul.
I mean,
what if Soul won Best Picture? That'd be cool.
let me look at my list.
It's not a good year. It's like it's COVID year. Like
I'm telling
my
you, there was
favorite.
stuff
Oh, you know what
coulda
could have won?
used
That would have been
still.
cool. The Last Duel. That could have
Yeah,
been a good
there
Best
you
Picture.
go.
Nightmare
Yeah, come on.
Alley.
This year had Red Rocket, Licorice Pizza, Come On, Nightmare Alley, Benedetta, The Lost Daughter, Luca, The Card Counter. Like there are a lot of good movies that
Buka.
year.
Come on. Red Rocket is my favorite movie of the year, but that's not Best Picture. I think The Last Duel is the one that could have crossed over into Best Picture from my favorites. But
I feel like they could
Not a
have
great
given
year.
it to Licorice Pizza.
oh yeah, I didn't see that one.
I don't know. Like to me, Coda is such a strange choice for Best Picture. I don't. I still don't really understand it. Like I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. Are you keeping up with Curb this season?
I've seen 3 episodes. How many have there been?
4.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so you saw this.
It's very funny though.
There's one episode where Larry is on the golf course and he accidentally hits with a drive Troy Kotzer, the main actor from Coda.
Right.
And like I didn't recognize him at first. I thought he was just like some actor.
That's crazy.
And then it clearly was like, oh, this is a man playing himself. And then I realized he was deaf and I was like, oh, he must be the guy from Coda. And I was like, oh,
actor in Hollywood.
and then I was like, right, Coda, that was good. And then like they mention it a couple of times in the show, and Larry mentions he won an Oscar for Best Actor, and I was like, really?
yeah.
That
Right.
happened?
It definitely did happen, yeah.
It
I
is
cried.
just like it is like 2 years later now, and it seems like that happened in another universe.
Well, I believe he won Best Supporting Actor because that's Will Smith of the year. He won Best Actor. I believe that this guy.
No wonder I don't remember what else happened at that Oscars.
Good point. Good point. I
Yeah.
believe that this guy won Best Supporting Actor. But this happened before Will Smith won, at least.
But I wasn't watching the Oscars, so really, like, I
right.
heard the Oscars in like one bit of news, and it was just like, yeah, Coda won, but Will Smith slapped fucking Chris Rock.
Yeah, so it makes sense that you don't even remember that.
Yeah,
And you
Slap
watched
heard
this
around
movie
the world.
late, so you weren't even paying attention to it at the time.
they keep referring to on WWE programming recently, The Rock slapped Cody Rhodes and turned heel, and they keep referring to that as the slap heard around the world. And I'm like, it is not.
Yeah, how soon you forget.
Yeah, the
WWE.
slap heard around the world is clearly Will Smith.
Yeah, so stupid.
All right, you want to hear all the fucking awards this shit was nominated for?
My favorite thing of that Curb episode was they were like, "You're supposed to yell 4." He was like, "He's deaf. He wouldn't have heard me anyway."
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, first, this came in at number 13 for the year at the box office between Jungle Cruise and Godzilla.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Holy shit.
That was another one I watched on HBO Max, I think.
Covered on We Love Kids movies, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's
Uh,
fucking crazy that this wasn't the #1 movie of the year. Do you have it pulled up? Do you know what was?
What
or
do you
no?
mean? You thought this was the #1 movie of the year?
That was a bad year. It was like COVID year. It was barely open. What else was contending?
I'll tell you right now.
I thought like when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, it's probably #1 movie. Like The Matrix wouldn't have passed it.
No, it's number 13
Luca?
between
Black
Jungle
Widow?
Cruise and Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, it's
Here-
Spider-Man. Got to be
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
here's the ready. Here's I'll give you the top 10 highest grossing movies of 2021.
Yeah.
Number 10, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Number 9, A Quiet Place Part 2.
Forgotten
Number-
about Quiet Place too, I think.
Yeah. They're like all sequels. Number 8, No Time to Die, which I still haven't seen.
Me either. Waiting for Henry, right?
Yeah. Number 7, Sing 2.
Whoa.
Number 6, Eternals. That's how big Marvel was. Like that was a huge flop, and it came in at number 6 at the box office.
It's one of their worst too.
Yeah, I know. Number 5, F9.
You love it.
Yeah. Number 4, Black Widow.
It's fine.
Number 3, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Number 2, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And by over $600 million between number 1 and 2. Number 1, Spider-Man No Way Home.
I mean, it has to be one of the weakest years ever, right?
Yeah, but it's COVID year. Like, that's understandable.
I know, but if you were looking at all the years, I think that this is one of the I mean, at least bottom 10, probably bottom 5 of all time.
All right, so does that make Dune look even worse? Like, it couldn't even beat, like, Free
A
Guy?
little bit. Yeah, honestly. That's tough.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder how Warner Brothers feels about the amount of money they're paying for the second one. What are the receipts gonna be? I do feel like people
It'll make a lot
discovered
of
Dune.
money.
I feel like people discovered Dune on streaming. And I
And
kind
the
of feel-
cast is so much bigger than they were even 3 years ago. We're adding the
You're
guy
right.
Elvis.
Zendaya is such a big deal.
So is Timmy. He just had like Wonka's like already the biggest movie of last year or whatever, right? I saw something recently. It was like he did huge last year. It'll be.
You're right.
it'll
You're right.
crush.
Wonka. I forgot about that. Wonka was like a surprise hit.
Yeah, it did amazing. I
Yeah.
think it'll crush.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And we're like excited because we might get some stuff we haven't really seen before because we don't really know exactly what all is going to be in part 2. We did cover a lot of it in part 1.
It's gonna be a lot of fighting. It's gonna be a lot of mysticism. But that's what I'm really worried about. I feel like it's gonna be so much about like the history and beliefs of the Fremen people.
I'm excited
And
to learn.
I
a
am
little
like
bit.
super not.
I don't know
interested.
much. I just know that they have the blue eyes because they're.
I've
on
never
the-
been less interested in anything.
I don't know. I like the effect, the little was it contacts probably they put in their eyes. I loved it in the original too. I like it more in the original actually, but I think it looks cool in the new one.
I'm not sure. I was distracted by Zendaya in those contexts, and I know she's gonna be in the second movie like way more.
She's barely
And-
in this one, yeah.
Yeah, and so I hope there's more of that. Yeah, I remember the first time I saw Dune because I didn't know where it cut off. I mean, this Villeneuve Dune, like I was surprised how little Javier Bardem there was, how little Josh Brolin there was, how little Zendaya. Like these are like really big actors that
Right.
they're just like not really using. And I get it. Like they're not in that part of the book, I guess. But, you know,
Yeah, makes sense.
but it was surprising to me at the time.
Well, that means we're getting more. In the second one.
Especially because when it came out, they didn't act like there was a guarantee there was a second one.
I think that there was.
It felt to me though like they weren't filming them back to back. It felt to me that they had every intention of making a second one, but if the first one was a really big flop, like if the first one did like Madam Web numbers, I don't think they were going to make a second one.
I mean, I was gonna say what are the chances that happened, but he loves properties that like aren't that successful. Like Blade Runner, he was gonna like, oh, let's do Blade Runner, even though nobody super cared, and let's do Dune, even though like nerds care, but not like the
hard to
masses.
sci-fi. It's hard to
Yeah,
sci-fi.
yeah,
It's
like, this
for
is
like
not for everybody.
serious nerds. It's not
Yeah.
for nerds that love like, Naruto or something. Like this is for like the nerds that
I feel like
read
Naruto is pretty nerdy.
no, but or okay, fine. This isn't for the nerds that read like Deadpool. This is for nerds that read like Harlan Ellison novels and shit.
Right. Exactly. It's not like Batman. This
Yeah,
is
fans of
the
like
next
Robert
level.
Heinlein.
Yeah,
Um,
whoever that is.
it's the dude who wrote the book that Starship Troopers is based on.
You're right. Of course.
By the way, we should cover Starship Troopers. I thought about it a lot watching Dune because Starship Troopers and Dune are the only movies I can think of in history that dress up all the protagonists to look like Nazis.
Yeah, they do that.
I feel like all the Atreides uniforms in this are Nazi uniforms, and it's so crazy. Like you've got Timothy Chalamet in this movie. You're telling me he's God, okay? But the entire movie he's wearing an SS uniform.
I don't think we're meant to think he's God yet,
Okay, but he's gonna be God.
but he's still clearly in training. Like
I'm
the
just
opening
saying.
scene, he's at breakfast and mom's
Okay,
like, "Motherfucker, do it right."
Logan,
bitch.
I don't think you really took the important part of my argument there,
I
which
think
is
you
the
also
fact that
didn't
he looks
understand
like
the
a
ending right.
Nazi.
The end, your letterbox review talked about how like now he's the king, and I don't think that's true at all. At the
I
end
don't
of
think
the
he's the
movie.
king. I don't think it was like a Black Panther thing, but I think that
You
a
say they see him as
couple
a king,
No. I said they
the
see him as a
Messiah.
Messiah. A couple of people in the Fremen thought of him as a Messiah. But they were like, but there's no way he can beat this guy. And then he beats that guy with no problem, doesn't even let that guy get any offense in.
But
And
that
so
guy wasn't that good or anything. Like the whole fight
but
started was
no. He was presented as being very good. We were told
Was
he
he
was the
really?
greatest fighter of the whole Fremen race.
what? I
Yeah.
thought it started out like his mom fought Javier Bardem for a second, and then they were like, "All right, let's go." And then that guy was just pissed. He was like, "We're
No,
gonna let them come," and then he wanted to fight mom, but then Timothy stepped up in her place and was like, "I'll fight
we
you." I didn't think
gotta
he was like
figure
the
out
best.
whether this motherfucker is the Messiah, and so we're going to pit him against one of our top warriors.
That guy was truly terrible, if that's true, because
Yeah,
I remember Paul, he puts him up in a position. He's like, "Do you surrender? Like, if you want to surrender, we can surrender and move on." And he ends up putting him in that same position like 4 times. He gets him like, "I could kill you right now, but I'm not going to." And so that guy could have died on 4 different occasions.
yeah, no. This guy, I'm telling you, he was so bad at fighting that it convinces the entire Fremen race that a little boy with bones of birds, he's the Messiah. He's the greatest warrior in the whole world.
So now is he in charge of Javier Bardem?
I mean, I don't think he's in charge of Javier Bardem, but I do think he's now like in the inner circle of the Fremen.
They're little
He's
equals.
accepted by the Fremen. He is now one of their leaders. He's going to be like the commander in chief of their army because he's, the Messiah, and that's the way it is. But I don't know that he's that good a fighter. I just think that guy was so bad at fighting.
Yeah, I didn't get that Timothy was that good. I thought that guy truly sucked. That's why I didn't think he was the best guy there
No,
was.
I think the movement of Timothy Chalamet, where he's able to get that tooth to the guy's throat like 4 times in a row like that. I think that in that moment,
He's so
that's supposed to be the moment like when Neo dodges the bullets in the Matrix.
Yeah.
I really think that's what that's supposed to be in this movie.
It's when we learn this guy's got the sauce.
But I'll tell you what, it's not convincing because Timothy Chalamet has bird bones.
All right, well, he's gonna grow. It's been many years later. He's gonna train. He's got to if he's gonna fight Austin Butler. That guy is pretty big, I think.
But movies suck now.
Well, you think it's unrealistic he could beat Austin Butler?
No. I think that if you're doing a story where two races of people send their greatest warriors against each other, they probably shouldn't look like Timothy Chalamet and Austin Butler.
What's the difference between Luke Skywalker?
It should be Schwarzenegger.
He should have been Luke Skywalker. Like Luke Skywalker is Mark Hamill.
Guy. No,
guy.
you want the good guy to be the underdog a little bit,
Exactly.
But that's why. But the bad guy, it's got to be Han Solo. It can't be Austin Butler. No, I mean, sorry, Darth Vader.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really see no issue with the good guy being like Rey Mysterio was the champion for a little while.
Yeah, but the way they sold that was he'd beat guys like Brock. Like he has to, it can't it can't be
Paul
like
beat a worm.
you can't put like Rey Mysterio versus like Johnny Gargano and have me like take that seriously as a heavyweight championship fights.
Yeah, it's fair. Well, let's watch Dune 2 before we judge it. Maybe it's a great fight and it's believable. And Timothy has put on a lot of pounds.
Then this movie is a 2.5 hour movie that led to this fight. The fight we're talking about right now was the action climax of this film, and it sucked.
I mean, I didn't really think of it as that deep, honestly. Like, because I knew that in the original that it's a completely
But it's
different
the end
character.
of the movie. But it's the
I
end
know.
of the listen, I know this is only half a story. They're
Right.
only but it's also a fucking movie. So you have to cut up the story so a big climactic thing happens at the end of the first movie, which it patently fucking doesn't here. This movie just farts and ends.
The climax to me was him.
It's
finally
like your uncle after Thanksgiving just fucking having a tryptophan fart and falling asleep.
To me, the climax is him just finding that race of people. Finally, he's with the Fremen. He finds Zendaya. And now he's part of the crew. I didn't really think like the big action fight.
But he earns his way onto the crew.
Right.
The third act of this movie is him finding the Fremen for sure. But then the actual climax of this movie is him becoming a Fremen. And that's what that fight is for.
But this battle isn't the battle of his life, in my opinion. I think that's going to be the Austin Butler
No,
thing. That's
of course
what he's
it is.
training his life
Of course it is. We don't get to see that. We don't see any important battles in this movie.
Right.
This is nonsense.
You care about that
Two
more
and a
than
half hour of fucking world building with no narrative.
I disagree. There's no narrative. You got to go there and learn about the spice and the worms and everything, and
that's
find out
not
who
a
this
narrative.
girl in your dreams
that's exposition.
So what's the narrative? There's zero narrative?
No, there's not zero narrative. It's just half of a narrative. So it doesn't build to anything. If you cut a story in half, the story then has no structure.
To me, the story is who is the woman in my dreams a little bit. And he finds the answer to that at the end of the movie. Zendaya.
But it's not like he finds it through clues. Like if that's a movie, okay? I understand. A movie can start with a man dreaming of a woman and he's never seen her before, and then he tries to figure out who she is, and he spends the rest of the movie trying to figure that out. That could be a movie, sure. But that's not what this movie is. This is a movie where someone has a woman show up in his dreams and then just goes off and does a bunch of shit and runs into her randomly at the end.
Well, but it wasn't random. Like she was on the planet, and the whole movie was about him going to the planet. It wasn't just like bumped into her.
But ultimately, there's no agency in his search.
But it's about his destiny.
He finds her through destiny and luck.
I think there's a difference between destiny and luck.
I don't actually.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Is destiny the same as luck? Because luck, if you think luck, but I feel like destiny is the opposite of luck. Because then nothing is
anyone
lucky.
who has good luck can just say that was their destiny.
Yeah, it's all just how you believe. You want to warp things in your mind, I guess.
Yeah.
So
my life is terrible. I don't want to believe that was my destiny all along.
So you say you just had bad luck or what?
No, I think I just fucked up my life.
Yeah, I guess that's the responsible way to think about it.
Yeah.
All right, did we even get into this movie? Like, really?
I don't know. I didn't even do the awards yet.
Oh my god, this is the longest podcast ever. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, I'll go through them as fast as I can. The Oscars. All right, this was nominated for Oscars. It won a bunch of the like behind the scenes shit. Score
and stuff.
Hans Zimmer won.
Yep.
Sound, production design, cinematography, editing, and visual effects. Won all those Oscars.
Fair enough.
It was nominated for Best Picture. It lost to Coda. It was nominated for Screenplay. It lost to Coda. It's nominated for. I'm so glad it didn't win Screenplay. Oh my God. If a movie won Best Adapted Screenplay for only doing half the book, fuck you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Best Makeup and Hair was nominated for that. It lost to The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Oh.
Costumes, it lost to Cruella.
Oh, Cruella.
Yeah. All right. The BAFTAs.
The British Academy of Film, Television, and Arts. BAFTA.
Did it win anything there? It won sound. Yeah, it won like the same shit. Sound, visual effects, production design, score, and cinematography. It was nominated for Best Film. It lost to The Power of the Dog. God, we just gave Best Movie that year to Power of the Dog and Coda.
Yeah,
Just like
worst year ever.
3 straight up ultimate threes.
You're fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Screenplay, Coda. They gave it to Coda. How about this? BAFTA's got an award for Best Casting, and the Oscars are adding that next year. They just announced.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that is cool. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
That's
They should retroactively go back and give it to every year, right?
Maybe we should do that.
Oh my God, we should. 100%
That's
do
such a
that.
good podcast. We should totally do that.
Yep, let's do it.
Okay. But for here, Best Casting was. I actually thought Dune should have maybe won this. Like,
Oh, I
Dune
thought
has
you were going to
good
say that it
casting.
did.
No, but listen to what it lost to. West Side Story. And that
What?
cast that Me Too kid.
Yeah, I only know 2 people in it. One of them got me too'd.
Yeah, one of them got Me Too'd, and the other one's that annoying girl from the new
Hey,
Hunger
hey,
Games.
hey, motherfucker. She played Lucy Gray Bear.
Thank you so much for saying the name. I was gonna say it, and I almost said fucking Gypsy Rose, but no, Lucy Gray Baird.
Yeah.
All right, back to the BAFTAs. Costumes, Cruella. It was nominated for editing, but it lost to No Time to Die. They take those Bond movies more seriously out in there in the UK. And it was nominated for makeup and hair, but it lost to that Tammy Faye movie again. Golden Globes.
It's the GGs, the Golden Globes. It's the Hollywood Foreign Press, mostly French.
Nominated for drama, but it lost to The Power of the Dog. Nominated for director, but lost to Jane Campion for that movie.
Wow.
But Hans Zimmer won with the Golden Globes. Hans Zimmer, man, he just show up, do a bunch of tones, walk away with an Oscar.
Seriously, he has like 10 of them probably.
I actually hated the score of the new Dude. I
Oh,
gotta
really?
be honest.
I
Yeah,
liked
there's
it.
just here's why. There's too much. Anytime they show a desert landscape,
Yeah, I know. I knew. I thought about
there's
opening the podcast.
so
that
much
way.
of that. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
It's
like,
2020. Look, can we stop it?
but this isn't trying to like rip off anything or make jokes
But
about
it's
any
not even
specific
doing.
thing.
It's not even the desert. Like most times in movies, they show us the Middle East, so they play like random Middle Eastern music.
These are
in the
spice
background.
noises.
But this what spice noise? Is this the music? The Fremen make music like this?
Yes. Well, you know, Zendaya's gonna have a big number in the next one.
Dude, she should. I
Speaking
would
of, by the
love
way, did you
that.
notice the Greatest Showman reunion in this film?
No.
Zendaya, first of all, and Rebecca Ferguson, both in The
Oh.
Greatest Showman, back again.
Great work. Great
A lot of
work.
reunions. No Country for Old Men, also. Roland.
Oh yeah,
and,
you're right.
Javier.
Brolin and Bardem. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, it's crazy.
They don't
I
have
know-
any scenes together.
I noticed it constantly. I want to say also the 2 people were introduced in the MCU in Guardians of the Galaxy together, Drax and Thanos, Batista and Josh Brolin, and here they are introduced.
God,
in Dune
you
together.
really thought about this a lot. I love
Oh
it.
yeah, no, I really did. I
Not
guess
to
those are,
mention, Eric Solvig.
Selvig. Isn't it?
Excuse me. I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, but also Zendaya's in Marvel. I think isn't Oscar Isaac in Moon Knight. A ton
Yeah.
of people are in Marvel.
Except they
I
got
actually thought about
Aquaman
Henry
in there.
at one point. I was like, Henry
Fucking
would have loved the superhero.
Oh
for this
yeah,
one.
No, he would have hated it, really.
Because
I feel like
Aquaman.
Henry loved doing the superhero count at first, and then it was like a fucking albatross around his neck.
Well, yeah, it was
for
like
the
a
rest of
thankless
the
task. It
series.
was because
Yeah.
every episode he was like, "All right, superhero count," and you're like, "Oh, thought we were done." Because then he'd be like, "Well, I did all this work for."
Every time I wanted to stop doing the superhero count, we'd always get like a couple of letters or like emails or whatever, like a couple of listeners.
Yeah, I
would
think you
pipe
just
up.
made him feel bad. You made him hate it. I think by your
Maybe.
reacting.
I think I made him hate the whole podcast.
Oh,
He'd
yeah.
probably still be hosting it if I was a better friend.
Oh, you think you were a bad friend?
No, I really don't.
Y'all still
We're
talk on the phone.
no, we're still close. And
Did you ask him about the last or Napoleon? Why he hated it so much?
I actually did. I did. And what was it? Oh my god, I have to pull up.
We
that
thought it was just because he
conversation.
loves history, and it's not about history.
Yeah, but he said something just really snarky about it, and it made me laugh. I lost my phone though, so yeah. No, I found it. Okay.
He texted you. You're gonna read it.
Yeah, we texted about it. Oh no! We had been talking about this stage show we went into in New York. It was called Shen Yun. It was this
Mhm.
like ancient Chinese dance kind of. It was at like the Met or something, and we got free tickets through Barnes and Noble somehow. And we went, and Henry hated it so much, and he fell asleep like right away. He just like just sat there sleeping through the entire thing. And so that had come up recently, and when I texted him about Napoleon, he just responded, "Shen Yun was better than Napoleon."
Wow. Is it shorter than
No, I
Napoleon?
think it's longer.
Yeah. Wow, he still liked it more. Holy shit.
Well, you got to
But he didn't really say why though.
Yeah.
Just cracked
No,
a little
I-
joke about it.
No, we've got to like have an actual conversation about it.
It's probably that though. He just hated the.
I think so.
Stupid. Like there were
Yeah.
dumb jokes.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, the thing I liked about it the most was that it was stupid and had dumb jokes.
Right. I think that's just where he's gonna disagree.
Yeah. All right, where are we at?
The last movie, I
Oh,
guess.
awards. I'm still on fucking awards. Right. Jesus Christ. Golden. Right. We did
Daniel,
Golden Globes. MTV.
Daniel?
Yeah.
I think we finished the awards, right?
Not yet. No.
Oh, we're still on the awards. I forgot
Yeah.
the last thing you said.
I need to hear the MTV theme, please.
Oh, I do the MTV theme, don't I?
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing it in a different language, but they don't really speak different languages, do they? They just speak English.
I want
my
MTV. Oh my god, that was probably racist, but I liked it.
Oh, really?
All right.
I'm sorry if I
Best-
offended anybody.
MTV nominated this baby for best movie, but they gave best movie to Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yep.
And Chalamet was nominated for best actor, but they gave it to Tommy Holland for that same movie.
Should Chalamet have been Spider-Man, you think?
No.
His
No,
hair
he
couldn't
has
fit
no,
the mask.
he has no physicality to him. That's my problem with the fight.
Yeah, Tom Holland is very physical. He does all the stunts
Yeah.
and shit himself. Maybe that's why Zendaya likes him so much. More
Yeah, he looks
physical than
agile
Timmy.
and shit. Chalamet looks like if he like walked half a city block, he'd fucking die of exhaustion.
I wanted to say something and then I forgot. Keep going, I guess.
Saturn Awards, they must have loved this, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Not so much.
Really?
I was surprised. I really thought like I was like, all right, I like set aside a big piece of my paper for the Saturn Awards. I got a lot to write down here, baby. But I don't know. I guess they had some issues with this movie because the only award it won was best makeup. They nominated it for best science fiction film, and they lost. They gave it to Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right. Did you notice what they were into that year? The Saturn Awards? Like, did they love the Suicide Squad or
It was
something?
kind of all over the map. Like I'll tell you the winners of the categories it was nominated in, and different movies won every award.
So no real front runner.
Yeah. Chalamet was nominated for best actor, but he lost to Tom Cruise for Top Gun Maverick.
That's fair, I guess.
I sort of love it. Cruise, by the way, I've given him shit for not wanting to be an actor, like Oscar Isaac. Like he basically like after Eyes Wide Shut and Magnolia. He like gave up and he's like only gonna make action movies from now on.
I think it's
I
because he was
read,
snubbed.
yeah, but he's jumping back into the game, Logan.
I
read
said
that
he would. I always said he would.
You were right. You were right. He just took the lead in the new Inuyaritu film.
Oh, that is cool. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
love him. You don't love
No,
him or
but I
anything.
think that could be an interesting combination.
It's how Leo won.
True.
Inuyaritu got Leo his coveted Oscar. So
Didn't some people from Birdman win as well? Maybe Ed Norton.
Did Emma Stone?
Emma Stone, maybe. I don't know.
Did Keaton win? I don't know. Somebody, yeah, I think you're right. Somebody did win. But that is fucking, I did not know about that. That is very, very, it's not like the number one person I would have picked for him to work with, but I mean, it's a step in the right direction for sure.
It really, really, really is. I was very pleased when I learned about that.
Yeah.
I looked up Birdman Oscars, by the way.
Somebody had
And,
to.
no.
It won Best Picture though.
Keaton, Norton, and Stone all nominated.
What?
But it won for picture, directing, screenplay, and cinematography. Nothing else.
Wow, that's wild.
Isn't that? I thought so too.
I thought for sure. I thought she might, but then when I said that, I was like, no, she only won for La La Land. But I thought Keaton actually did win for that. Has Keaton won? I thought he won like his like makeup for everything
Keaton,
for this one.
I will tell you this: Keaton won Best Actor at the Golden Globes that year.
Yeah, it doesn't count, but that makes sense.
But yeah, Birdman is actually his only Oscar nomination his whole career.
Whoa.
And he didn't win.
Well,
he did win an Emmy a couple years later though for that show Dope Sick.
Maybe Beetlejuice too. We'll make it up to him.
You know what the title of Beetlejuice 2 is? I think it's really good.
I thought it was that.
No.
Beetlejuice?
No, it's called Beetlejuice.
Yeah. I remember when we
so
did the
good.
franchise update, seeing that. Yeah,
That's
is so
good.
They better not make a third one, though.
It is literally the only thing that has me excited about that movie. It's like the one decision where I'm like,
People
maybe
are
they
back.
got something.
Jenna's in it.
I know, but
Jenna's the daughter of Winona Ryder. That's cool.
It's 2024. I just don't think Tim Burton can make movies that feel like Beetlejuice anymore. And so I don't want to watch a Beetlejuice, but I don't want to watch a Beetlejuice movie that doesn't feel like Beetlejuice. I still like the movies Tim Burton makes. Not? I don't think anyone should do it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. King, is it King? What if the guy from Wonka? What's his name? What if he was like, I'm going to do Beetlejuice?
No.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. So Simon, what's that guy's name?
If Henry Selick, the guy who made Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline, really wants to do a stop motion animation sequel to Beetlejuice, I'd be interested in that.
Yeah.
But I don't, live action Beetlejuice, I don't want to see.
I hope they prove you wrong.
I hope so too. I want nothing more than to be wrong about this.
Now I hope it's fucking awesome. I already want it to be good.
I want it to be 5 stars. I love Beetlejuice.
I know you
do. I'm worried. I know. All right. Oh, Saturn Awards. Sorry, let me finish this so we can fucking talk about the movie. Yeah. It was also nominated for Best Production Design, and it lost to Nightmare Alley. And it was nominated for Best Costumes, but it lost to The Batman.
Oh, yeah, The Batman. Now we're like talking about movies for the next year, though. Mission Impossible and The Batman.
In the way.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
That's all I think about.
Me too.
I don't remember anything about The Batman except that movie's in it.
I remember that song is in it. I remember that Paul Dano plays either the Joker or the Riddler. And whichever one he doesn't play, the other
we've been corrected on this a number of times.
Yeah, one or the other. I think he plays the Riddler.
I think he does too. I think Paul Dano's the Riddler, and Barry Keoghan shows up at the end as the Joker.
Yes, exactly right.
Okay. I saw a trailer for that Penguin. Do you remember when the Batman came out and it was a big hit? Warner Brothers announced that they were going to do a Penguin TV show for HBO Max starring Colin Farrell.
Yeah, they are.
I completely forgot that was a thing, and then I recently saw a commercial for it. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I saw a picture of him, and people are saying that he like his look is just what's one of Larry's friends from Curb?
Richard Lewis?
Yeah, no.
Funkhauser?
No. He's
JB Smoove?
Oh my god.
Jeff
now I feel
Green?
dumb. He was in A Bug's Life. I forget the guy's name.
Dave
Richard
Foley?
Kind. They're saying he just looks like
Oh.
Richard Kind. And
That's
he
hilarious.
does.
They should have just gone Richard Kind.
Yeah, why not just get Richard Kind?
He'd be a great penguin.
Yeah, he would have, honestly.
He's grotesque.
Wow, that's not nice.
I mean, nothing against. I love Richard Kind.
DeVito's not grotesque. He did a
Richard
good job.
Kind's been a regular in like 5 of my favorite. Like if you
You forgot
like,
he was in Curb.
he's been a regular. I think in 3 of my 50 favorite TV shows ever.
It's not that good.
3?
What about Boreanaz?
He'd only be on probably 2 of them.
4. 2?
I love
Angel
SEAL Team
and
and
Buffy?
Bones, but they're not making the top 50.
Oh, I thought they might.
No.
50 is low for you. You're right. What about 100? They'd make it for sure.
Oh yeah. At least one of them.
Which one do you like more? If I had to watch one more David thing, what should I watch?
To be honest, I want to say SEAL Team.
Is that longer? It's not what I thought you'd say.
No, it's Bones is so long. Bones ran for 12 seasons.
Okay. In Bones, is he more like a nerdy guy?
No. He's like the FBI guy who's like the liaison to the nerds.
Okay. I thought that was like more of his like not like nerdy, but like his like excited, like new cop kind of nerdy.
He's never done that. He's never done that.
But then the SEAL Team, like he's the masculine, like awesome guy.
Well, there is a little bit of a difference. In Bones, there's like an element of him that's like a little bit hipstery. Like he wears like silly belt buckles and socks and stuff, and he's like really into hockey. Like there's like weird specificities to that character.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like in SEAL Team, he's kind of like
macho.
a lifelong army guy. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so it's not as extreme as what I thought, but a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, David Boreanaz is always just playing like Angel is the biggest stretch he's ever made. Like since then, like the characters in Bones and SEAL Team, they're just variations on David Boreanaz. The people who tuned into this wanting a Dune podcast hate this right now.
Also, this is the longest podcast we've ever done. We haven't even talked about the new Dune. I mean, we did in the old for a little bit.
Well, can you walk us through the new Dune a little bit?
All right, starts with the Zendaya voiceover. She immediately fucks up and says Harkonnen rather than the Harkonnen. And you're like, oh no.
I was annoyed that it started with a Zendaya voiceover, and here's why. Because the whole purpose of this movie, it's like the David Lynch version sucked. We're making the real Dune now. And then it starts out exactly the same way. Like that's not how the book. That's not how the book starts out. The book does not start with like Chani explaining the galaxy to you, okay? But it's interesting to me that both directors decided to do this, and I understand
why.
Well,
they didn't in the other one. They were forced to because it didn't make sense.
It was Virginia Madsen in the other one too. It wasn't Chani, but
yeah, and she's Florence Pugh, who's not in this.
But I kind of think that's the reason they're doing that here too. Like,
right?
But I think like the choice to have Chani do the voiceover is specifically just because they know that she's only in the last 5 minutes of this first movie.
Right.
So she's an important character. Like she's got to be in his dreams and shit. So they're able to like segue into the dream thing. It's actually a decent bit of like.
Is that a dream? The opening monologue that we get, is that in his mind?
I think so. Like I think like it's for us as an audience, but it's also a way to set that up. It's actually a decent bit of
he does that a lot.
God, let me finish a sentence.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Of storytelling. That's all. Go ahead.
I knew how you were finishing, so I was jumping in before it like left any silence.
But I tried to say that word like 4 times, and you jumped in before it every time.
I'm sorry. We also he'll do a thing where he like reads from or he listens to like this audio book, but it has like a projection. So like he's learning what we're learning, which I think is pretty good. It's not just us learning a bunch of shit.
But that's always weird to me too in movies. Like that happens. That's like a trope in like sci-fi films where it's like you'll see they're like reading about the world they live in, and I'm like, do you?
I thought this was about the world he's going to. He's learning about like the
Oh, he's learning about yeah. I guess that is.
He's planning for the trip that he's about to take.
But they haven't even been. They don't even know they're going there yet at this point. I don't think.
When he gets that, they get the news in like the opening scene. That guy comes to visit and says like, "You guys are getting the place, right?"
I'll take your word for that. I don't remember exactly.
I mean, I didn't really have a question it, so it seemed like it made sense to me.
Okay.
But all right. So what happened? Should we talk about the new casting or some of the new elements or what?
Whatever you want.
Because it's a lot of the same, some differences.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
the plot. It honestly, I'd always heard like Dune fans hate the David Lynch version, but like
It's scene for
the,
scene sometimes.
it really is. And sometimes word for word. Like I feel like both movies are taking a lot of dialogue from Frank Herbert from the book, and so it really has an air of extreme similarity at times.
But which I think is why the other one's so much better because they realized exactly what to keep and exactly what to keep for the second movie. Like they took out the exact right characters, I think, for the next movie and plots. I don't know. I was
Yeah,
pretty impressed by it. I didn't think I would as much, but especially after watching the original, knowing like the thought I think that went into the new one, I like it. I think.
to me, I get to the end of Dune Part 1 and there's nothing calling me back. There's nothing I'm excited for in Dune Part 2.
Oh, that's crazy. You don't want to see these
And
people grown up a little bit?
I really
Timothy,
don't
a few
like
years later?
really all it is. It's like if you want to see the end of the story you just watched for 2.5 hours, watch Dune Part 2. That's the only reason I'd ever watch it. I'm not excited about anything.
And for the
I'd like to finish the movie I watched.
Right. So you were excited to finish it though.
No, I just know that I have to.
Oh, okay. Would you if not for the podcast or no?
Yeah,
Okay, so you're all right. So
but
you're
only
shitting
because
on
it's
it a little more than
it's
me.
Villeneuve. Like that's the thing. I don't think the movie itself earns me wanting to see the next one.
I don't really feel that way. I think you're being a hater a little bit. You hate Dune, even though you say you don't. You just hate the
All right.
format of
But I do hate Dune. Like I'm not lying about that. Like
I thought you said you did it. I'm so confused
No,
if you hate it or not.
I respect Dune. I think Dune is cool. I think like as like there's a place for things like Dune in the world. And I think Dune is way cooler than something like Lord of the Rings or something. It's more interesting to me. But it's just not my thing. Like I'm watching Dune and I'm pausing it every 5 seconds and asking my girlfriend questions and she's just like no, it's just that's the way, that's the rules. Like there's no answers. It's just that's what it is. And I just I honestly I paused to halfway through the movie at one point and I turned to my girlfriend. I literally said the words, I hate Dune.
Wow, I
Yeah.
hate Dune. That should
Yeah.
have been your review.
It's too frustrating. It's
Imagine
not
me.
for,
I had nobody to talk to. I was just by myself. And I
I
was watching for
hate
the
Dune.
first time.
This movie, it's half a fucking movie. It's a bunch of made up garbage. It's just not for me. I'll watch The Holdovers 400 fucking times before you sit me in the theater to watch Dune Part 2. Like that's
You're
just
gonna
the
watch
way
it
it is
400
for
times before next week
me.
when you're in a theater watching Dune.
If I had a
Part
choice.
That's crazy. You're just saying that. None of y'all don't
I'm-
think you'd even do it 100 times. You would not watch the holdovers 100 times
Leave me
before
alone.
Dune Part 2. I just like putting your feet to the fire, you know?
I know.
So a few different. Should we talk about the casting or what? Because there's a few people we haven't really talked about. Our MVP. Well, I guess we'll go in order. So we have Timothy Chalamet. His parents are Rebecca Ferguson and Oscar Isaac. Apparently, you hated Oscar Isaac, and I guess I agree. Not
We've covered this shit. Look, Oscar Isaac, he's okay. I like the part where he does that thing with the plane.
What did he do with the plane?
Remember I saw the dragonfly plane where it does a little
Right.
that's cool.
Yes.
But yeah, he's kind of
I like his beard. Got a good beard.
it's all right.
Oh, it's all right. You grow a beard like that.
I could. He just looks like a Star Wars character at this point. I Rebecca
does.
Ferguson was great though. I think she's my MVP.
She's amazing. She's like really running up the ranks of some of my favorite people. In every interview I
Yeah.
see with her, she's like trying to seduce the person interviewing her, which I think is interesting.
I thought it was a questionable choice for her to do Dune, honestly. Like when I first heard she was going to be in this movie, it felt similar to Mission Impossible. Like if it like I knew the character from the book and whatever, it felt like it could just be Ilsa all over again or whatever. But like It's not. It's really not. She's really giving her own thing.
Yeah, she's really seems like she really cares
Silo,
about Timothy.
baby.
Oh yeah, Silo. Who's she in Silo? Is she a cool character in that?
Yeah, it's the main character in Silo.
Oh shit, that's cool. Does she own the silo?
You better believe it.
She owns the silo? There's like a lot of people staying in her silo?
What are you talking? No, all of humanity lives in a silo.
What? Every single person, it's one big silo?
Yes.
How big is the silo?
There's only 2,000 people left in humanity. It's an enormous fucking
so not
silo
that
that
big.
goes deep, deep into the ground. And that's where all of humanity lives.
How did everyone die?
Does it?
Oh shit. Do
We
we know?
don't know how everyone died. That's part of the mystery of the show.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's our family.
And we don't know where the silo came from, and they don't either.
Wow. Well, she owns it. It's her silo.
It's not hers. She's just the
You
main
just
character.
said.
She's the sheriff of the silo.
Oh, okay. Kind of like Sam from the Traders Australia season 2.
Jesus Christ.
Somebody got that. Ross Beck got that. I hope so.
Jack Mulberry.
Oh, hell yeah. We've got Batista from Blade Runner 2049. Remember that when they teamed up? They're back.
This character is sort of not much in the
He's one of the henchmen. He's all right.
But he's just like one of the henchmen. In this movie, he's
like a
fucking
top 10
Batista.
character.
I don't know about that.
I think it's a little elevated, but not much. I don't know. I didn't really get that.
I don't know. I was, I'm always happy to see Batista. It's whatever. I thought it was pretty
Of course.
underused though. Like now that I know Batista can really act, I want to see him act.
Well, I think he'll be featured a little bit more in the next.
Well,
movie.
I do think Knock at the Cabin was probably a game changer for him. He's going to get different roles on
True.
the basis of that.
True. He's worked with some great directors, though. He's really a smart guy.
No, he's clearly like a respected person in the field of film. Like he only gets hired by like genuine like auteurs.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
We have in the Patrick Stewart role, Josh Brolin, which we said. In Brad Dourif's role, David Dastmalchian from
that was surprising.
Yeah, you like him?
Yeah, I mean, I
He's
don't
from
really...
Ant-Man and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mostly know him from TV. Like he's been in like Arrested Development, I think.
He's in the Suicide Squad. He's Polka Dot guy.
Yeah, but what do I know him from? Polka Dot Guy is Dusty Rhodes to me. But
I thought the villain from the first movie looked like Dusty Rhodes. What do you think?
The villain from the first... Oh, yeah. I
Baron.
can see
that guy, he looked like Dusty.
Oh, it says here Dastmalchian was in Prisoners, which I don't remember. So
Oh.
likes this fella.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What the fuck do I know this guy from? I might be thinking of a
He was in
different person.
He was in
You
Ant-Man.
know what I'm
and the
thinking of? I'm
Suicide
so
Squad.
sorry. I'm thinking of a guy named Chris Diamantopoulos.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I get these long last name D, starting with D is confused. But I've seen this guy in a bunch of shit too. He actually shows up in Twin Peaks: The Return.
I think he's
got
playing
some
to his
funny
weirdness
shit
a
in
little
there.
more. I think he tries to conceal it and be normal. I think he's also in
I
the Dark
agree.
Knight, maybe.
I agree. Weird people should just be super weird.
Is
You're
he in
right.
the Dark Knight?
Yes, he's one of the Joker's henchmen in the Dark Knight, which by your law means he should sound like the Joker.
That's right. But that's my point. Is he should act like a fucking weirdo. He should be Brad Dourif, not in this movie necessarily, but I mean in general. He should be a fucking weirdo. But
It's
he
true. I
he's
feel
too
like
normal.
Dorif was toning himself down for Dune too. What is it about Dune? Let your freak flag fly, boys.
Yeah, but I mean he should be like Brad Dourif as an actor and like in other projects. You know, he should go be a weirdo. I don't
agree.
know, but
I think Dastmalchian could be good in the Chucky franchise.
better than Hamill, right?
What?
Mark Hamill played him. Remember? Mark
He was
Hamill
in
played
Chucky?
Mark Hamill did the voice of Chucky in the Child's Play remake.
Oh my!
You even
God.
remember that movie came
I
out
forgot that movie existed.
with Aubrey Plaza? Yeah.
Because like the Child's Play franchise never stopped. Like they're still making like Chucky, the TV show on Sci-Fi with like Jennifer Tilly and Brad Dourif and shit.
So you forget about the
So,
one
like,
that's not Brad
Yeah,
Dourif?
so it's so crazy. Like they made a remake amidst all this.
It is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I paid for you guys to cover Child's Play. I remember that.
I remember that you had one of the best nights of your life going to see that in theaters with your brother.
What else did I watch along with Child's
Oh
Play?
my God. I remember this story.
Yeah, you
I'm
should.
not going to be able to get it. What is it?
It was a night of toys because I watched Toy Story 4.
Of course.
We did a back to back. It was a great
Yes.
time, honestly.
I remember you were so effusive about that. You had such a good time. It was cute.
It was because of the
Okay.
back-to-back with Toy Story and two of my like childhood. I
Yeah.
love those when they're growing up. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
fun.
and it made you like Child's Play like more than anybody else I knew.
Oh yeah, I
because you had like
crazy
such a
liked
good
it.
time.
I think I bumped it down from a 4 to a 3 on my letterbox because I was like,
You
this
had it
is-
at a 4. Wow.
Oh yeah, I had the best time. Yeah.
Say more about Dune. We should probably do that.
Oh yeah, Dune. What else happened in Dune? They do a sand walk. You like that? Funny little sand walk. That wasn't in the original.
Look, did I like it? I don't have an answer for you.
chuckled.
I did think it was very funny.
Yeah, I think they're in on it. They know how silly it is.
They do. Do they? I'm not sure.
I don't know actually.
They do. They do a thing where it's like
They're like side. It's like you're roller skating. Like you're going foo,
Right.
foo, foo. Or
that's
ice
it's
skating?
right. It's like you make like an ice skating motion with your feet.
Yeah,
through
like
the
left leg
sand.
out, right leg
and-
out, left
right,
leg
and
out.
and the sandworms won't know. I
don't know how.
They explain it in the movie, and I bought it at the time, so they must have done.
So
an
that you have
okay
no
job.
issue with them
Yeah.
actually on the ground, but when they're above the ground, yeah, that's it. You have an issue.
Oh,
with?
shut the fuck! But it's just one human being, as opposed to an enormous rusted out oil tanker that looked like it was the size of the fucking Titanic.
Yeah. I just wanted to argue a little bit. Sometimes I do that, and I feel like I shouldn't. I should just let you have it. There's one point where Stellar skateboard, the whole thing with his character is he can float, right? We didn't really talk about that in the old one, but he can like.
I
have,
like that in the
Yeah,
old
me
one. It's so every so often he like floats really high, and it's creepy.
You think he's gonna pop or something, like hit a ceiling?
Yeah,
Good thing
I
they
don't
don't. They probably gets hot. They can't have any fans going on because he might
Yeah.
float into one. That kind of sucks. But I thought he
Josh,
floated up.
You think Chalamet saw that and he was like, "Wow, it's just like that girl, the dude turns like a blueberry." And Wonka.
No.
Okay,
That,
sorry.
that hadn't happened yet when he was Wonka.
Right. Good
That
point.
happens late. Wait, that's yet to come.
Oh, right, because it's a prequel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's a little boy. Hasn't come. But
He's little bird bone Wonka.
Stellan floats up and he has on
You
this
can't convince me Timothy Chalamet's ever had a chocolate bar.
ever.
Ever.
He's rich, of course. He's like stopped and got a chocolate bar somewhere.
I don't think so.
Has he ever gone trick or treating?
I'm not sure.
He had to. He probably grew up in a rich neighborhood too. They probably gave him a lot of candy.
He was playing video games though. Remember, he like used to YouTube about video games.
Timothy Chalamet.
You didn't know this?
What did he do?
Someone found Timothy Chalamet's old YouTube channel from when he was like 12 years old.
Okay.
And what he would do was he would buy video game controllers and paint them, and he would like customize video game controllers. So it was like
Wow.
this little 12-year-old Timothy Chalamet going up on YouTube going like, "Hey guys, I got a new controller today. It's an Xbox controller. I thought I'd add some jewels here. I painted Spider-Man there." And it's so cute. It's very endearing.
It was like a business he ran, like for
No,
other
it
people.
was
He would paint it
no, he would sell them online.
Right, that's
but
what I mean.
it was just like his hobby when he was 12.
Well, it's not a hobby if you're selling it online for money.
I mean, he sold like 3 of them, dude. It wasn't like a real
Oh.
business.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
no, I never knew about that side of Timmy.
Yeah.
You
I
ever see his
wonder
high
if
school days?
Do you
He,
think
like,
anybody
danced in high
out there
school?
like has one of those Timothy Chalamet custom controllers and they like know it?
For
They're
sure.
like, I'm gonna play with my Timothy Chalamet controller now.
What do you mean they know it? Like he would sell it anonymously?
Because when no, but he was just like a non-famous back then. He was
Right.
a 12-year-old kid on YouTube. He was anybody. But do you think the people that bought those controllers like realize that the kid who sold them the controllers became Timothy Chalamet?
See, I'm not sure. I think they'd have to remember
I know.
the name. There's a girl right now, a singer who's becoming famous. She's like 20 years old. Her name's Tate McRae, okay?
Okay.
And I learned about her 8 years ago in a YouTube video. Okay?
Wow.
She was just a YouTube video where she sang a song, and I was like, this is a good song. And I remembered the song.
Was it an original song?
Original song. She wrote it.
Wow.
She was like a little girl. And then 8 years later, I hear her on the radio, and they're like, that was from Tate McRae. I was like, whoa, that little girl. I remembered her name from the
Wow.
video and because the song I thought was so good. So they would have to think the art on the controller was so good that they remembered who
know.
sold it to them,
I
which would
know.
be pretty tough.
Pretty rare.
Yeah, you'd have to find someone like me.
And I've seen a couple of these YouTube videos. The controllers aren't that cool.
All right. Well, probably not then.
Yeah,
But it'd be cool.
But I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty. Really
That
cool.
might become like a collector's item at some point.
Yeah.
Like someone might go to Sotheby's and like spend $5,000 bidding on a Timothy Chalamet branded controller from when he was 12 on YouTube.
But you'd also kind of think it would already. Like, what are they waiting for?
But maybe they haven't turned up yet.
Or maybe
Like,
they
because
haven't
the guys
learned
don't
about it.
remember.
They haven't thought. Or what if their controllers in storage? They have been looking for it this whole time.
Exactly.
They've been like,
And
I
then
know
they'll
that's the controller. I just don't know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a box.
Listen, Timothy
There should be a
Chalamet
movie.
is as memorable a name as Tate McRae.
It's true.
All right.
It's a very memorable name. You remember Tate McRae? I said it one time. Now you'll always remember.
It's
She
because
played at a hockey game.
In my head, I was like, they should call her Tits McRae.
Oh, I think some people made that joke. Some little incels online.
I'm
Should be
sure.
Tits McRae. Or it should
I've
be
never seen her.
Tatas.
I've never
McRae.
even seen her though. I don't even know what she looks like. I'm
She
sorry.
played. I remember she played at a halftime hockey game. So and she's Canadian. So if you ever, I think she played the All-Star hockey game. Did you watch that?
I didn't.
That was pretty recent, right? Within
yeah, it
last
was.
month?
It was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I think she played the halftime show at that. And she's Canadian, so if there are any other like finals, she might play at those too.
I just Googled her.
Yeah. What do you think? She's 20.
Tits
I guess-
McRae. Tits McRae. Probably pretty good. Wow. Okay. Sorry. You first came across her. She was like a little girl, right?
She was, yeah.
Oh boy.
She was like,
Okay.
I wrote this song and I'm gonna play it on my piano. It was adorable.
That's cute. That's so
it's the
sweet.
cutest thing ever.
I like that people can break into the business that way now. It's nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Bieber,
anyway.
Bieber, he was the first case, right?
Yeah,
The
he needed like
YouTube.
Usher to discover him. Now I feel like if you just get enough like views, like you could like
It's
fucking,
true.
Yeah. All right, Logan, tell me more about Dune.
All right, we what else happened? No daughter, like in the first movie, as we said. That sucked. There's one line of dialogue that made me question, are Paul, I'm gonna call him Paul, that's his character's name, Timothy Chalamet. Are his parents not married? There's a line where dad's like, I knew I should have married you. I fucked up.
Oh, I don't know. Well,
Right?
I don't know. Rebecca Ferguson in this movie, they made that character like a member of the Bene Gesserit sisterhood,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's not a thing in either the book or the David Lynch movie.
Oh, I
think
thought that it was.
No, I'm pretty sure that's just Denis Villeneuve wanting to give more agency and power to like the female lead of this movie.
Whoa,
which
it
is
worked, I guess.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. But that might be why. I don't know if there's like some rule about those guys getting married or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I fully thought in the original it was like the same exact character, kind of like she had the powers and everything. But I mean,
I think she does have like some sort of power, but she's like officially like part of that crew in this movie. Like she grew up.
Okay. A difference in this one is in the last movie, you'll remember when the guy bites the tooth and he breathes in their face.
I love that moment. It's one of the best moments in the Lynch movie.
Yeah, and I didn't really get the same pop from it that you seem to. But as you say, in the last one, he breathes into Brad Dourif's. But this one, he flat out breathes into Stellar Skateboard's mouth. But so he dies, but then he just comes back later. I kind of didn't like that change.
I didn't think the tooth thing really worked at all in this movie. I don't know. Maybe because it's so odd, like a tooth that you bite down on and explodes. Like that, it's like the one element of Dune that feels more Lynchian than Villeneuvian.
Oh, that's interesting. So you have a problem with it here. But that's only if you think about the director. Don't even think about it.
No, I just think it doesn't really work in terms of the plot. I'm not really sure what it does, what it really adds.
No, I think that the whole thing doesn't work where I don't know, he breathes into the other person's, but it doesn't kill him. I don't know why they change it. It didn't work for me. But
yeah, if you're gonna breathe poison in someone's face, make it poisonous.
yeah. Oh, there's a cute little mouse You remember that little guy?
There is? I don't remember that guy.
Oh, I thought you'd remember if I brought up the cute little mouse. Oh,
You know what? I don't remember the mouse, but I remember halfway through this movie having a conversation with my girlfriend where she said she wanted to get like a pet rat. So that's probably why.
Okay, yeah, I bet it is. Because in the other one, the case of the rat is like when it gets crushed in that drink. But in this one, there's like a cute little mouse on the sand or on the spice.
Oh,
Whatever you'd call
really?
it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they're like breaking out, getting out of the thing, and there's like a cute little mouse. I thought
Okay.
you'd remember. That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe I don't.
I like the part where the girl died though, and she was like banging on the. I keep wanting to call it sand. Is only the top layer spice, or it's all spice? Everything's
No.
spice.
Logan, that's sand.
Oh, everything's. Oh, it's sand. What's the spice?
The spice, as we've discussed, is sandworm larvae. It has to be harvested. I don't think it's like I don't think the planet's made of the spice.
Oh, see, I think what I was doing in my head was because there's a planet on The Last Jedi that's like a salt planet. And I think I was kind of doing that here, where I was thinking it was a spice planet.
Interesting. No, it's not the same thing.
I think I kind of thought that, but all right. And I think that's why.
Yo,
I thought,
FYI, that salt planet in The Last Jedi is fucking cool. And if you don't think that's cool, you're fucking wrong.
No, it's awesome. And one of the coolest parts
That
about
was
it is
mostly
like,
for Tim, I guess.
oh, he hates that.
I think so.
One of the coolest parts about it is like when you walk on it, it'll like scrape off the top layer, so it's
Yes.
red. But then later on, Luke is a projection, so when he moves, it's like nothing, like the ground doesn't move with it. So it's actually like it plays into like the plot kind of.
It's a hint.
Yeah, it's really fucking sick. So I agree, but I thought that's why we were wearing those things in our nose, was because of like the whole salt or spice planet. We had to protect ourselves from the spice.
Oh, well, I think it probably is like a delicate landscape that you probably don't want to be outside in for too long. So, I mean, but I don't think I really made that as direct a connection as you did.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's not Spice
Yeah.
Planet. So what happened? We meet Zendaya. There's a line Timothy Chalamet says that I think he says in the next movie too. I saw in like a trailer where he says, "May thy knife chip and shatter." That's a cool line. May thy knife chip and shatter. What do you think about that?
Well, it's made of tooth, so
Wow.
those are pretty delicate. As we learned, you could
The
bite down
knife
on
is made
one.
of the tooth.
That's what, yeah. They're fucking weapons on this planet. That like that she like presents him this weapon, and that's what it is. It's a sword made out of tooth of the hyali. What are they called? The Shuraloo.
Shuraloo?
No, you know what? They have a fucking mystical name for the sandworms on this planet.
It's made out of worm tooth?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about the tooth. It's made out of that tooth. When you
No,
said
there's
tooth.
a lot of fucking teeth in these movies.
I'm sorry. So it ends. Paul fights that guy, kicks his ass, and now everybody thinks that Paul's the leader, I guess.
Can I just say I have picked up and put down my phone and then lost it 6 times in this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that's possible.
Mine's
I'm
sitting
sitting
right
in a
here.
very confined space.
You need me to look something up for you?
No, it's okay. I don't even need my phone. I don't know why I brought it up out loud. I'm just mystified by myself.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
I mean, I guess that's it. We end. Next movie, we're gonna get a whole bunch of shit,
We really will.
and
All
I
right.
can't wait. I'm excited. I don't know if you are. Wish it
Oh,
was shorter.
I'm not. I'm really
What if it was an hour 40?
Yeah, then yeah, sure. But if it was an hour and 40, I'd also be like, why couldn't you just make that part of the first movie?
Yeah, it's a good point. 'Cause this one's
never,
only, well,
I'll never get on board with this shit. I just won't.
I know.
Cutting a story, just don't. Just tell me the movie. I know I host a show called The Franchise, right?
But ideally, a franchise is a movie, and then there's another movie that's its own movie, and then there's another movie that's its own movie that sort of plays off the backs of the other movies, but it's not part 1 and part 2 and part,
99% of franchises are not creatively motivated. They're motivated for commerce. This is a rare franchise that is creatively motivated, because there shouldn't be a Dune sequel that we're going to see right now, but they just didn't finish the story in the first movie. So while I respect that it's not a creative motivation, that it is a creative motivation and not a commerce motivation. I think it's the wrong creative motivation. I think if you can't finish a story in one movie, I think you shouldn't make that movie. I really do. I genuinely believe that. I also believe that on television right now, you can do as amazing things visually as you can in film, which was not the case when the Sci-Fi Channel adapted Dune in the year 2000. Okay? So if you can't fit a story into a movie, you have a built-in option right there. If you can't make a movie, I think what you're trying to make is a television program.
So make this a television program.
Yes.
My issue, I mean, you're probably right. I'm not going to argue against that. That's probably might be
This
a
was
good
my
solution.
same argument with Killers of the Flower Moon. If you cannot find a way to make that under 3 hours, then what you are trying to make is a television miniseries.
But listen, they at least that's not a part 1, part 2, Killers of the Flower Moon. It's longer because I think I like this movie more than the other one. I don't like that they skip 2 hours and we get everything. I don't like that. I
don't think either one of them works.
Well, that's why the solution probably is to make one 3.5 hour long movie. But you would not like that.
Or one 6-part miniseries.
Could you get the budget and cast and stuff for that?
If you have Villeneuve, then yes.
So if they all agree, Villeneuve says, I'll do it if we can get everybody, you think they could all come to an agreement?
I think Villeneuve has a thing where he wants his work to be seen in theaters.
Right.
I think that's something he really, really cares about, and that's not something that happens in television.
Right.
I do think he could get a great cast. If they gave him a big budget and fucking promised him like a month-long run in theaters, I think they could have gotten like almost the exact same cast. But I don't know if that makes the right kind of money for Warner Brothers. That's the thing. And so in terms of money versus like commerce versus creativity, maybe this is the only way to do this story. And so fine. People who love the story are clearly very happy with this adaptation of it for the most part that I've heard. And so good on them. But like for me, I'm not sure there's a way to adapt this book successfully right now with the level of money they need things to make when they cost this much.
It'll be tough to judge without seeing part 2, but I do think that they could have made, like if that was a thing that we did anymore, make 4-hour long movies. But if we did make this a 3.5 hour long, 4-hour long movie, combining this how it is, maybe cut out some stuff like the few boring Oscar Isaac scenes or whatever, and add on what we need to add on from the next movie. I do think that there's a cut of this somewhere, but that it's not part 1, part 2. But I was impressed with this version. I like what they decided to keep and cut and save, and I don't know. I like it.
What did they cut?
We cut out the daughter. We cut out them getting married.
We didn't cut shit out. It's all gonna be in the next movie.
Exactly. We're cutting
we
it
didn't
out.
Cut out anything.
We're saving it. That's what I mean.
That's not what you do. I don't. It is not my belief that great adaptations of novels are just every fucking moment from the novel in a movie.
But what I don't like about the other one is that we jump ahead 2 years, and that's what we're not going to do in the next movie, I don't think.
We're
letting everything breathe more naturally a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. It's hard to judge.
There's nothing natural about this shit, though.
All right, it's like a movie. We're in 10,164 or whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna go 4 stars. I was gonna go 3, but I think that your negativeness has made me think I like it even more. Maybe.
I think that's crazy. I think there's no narrative here. I think the spectacle is outrageous. Everything's too enormous. The sandworms are too big. It's
too
crazy.
Big. No such thing. No such
of
thing.
Course.
You ever see sandy cheeks on a worm?
When you have like a sandworm like this, there's no way to survive it. Like the whole plan is just
you have to do
up.
the sand walk, don't you know? By now,
I don't
About the
buy it.
fucking sandwalk? All right. I had no issue with the. I don't know.
I don't buy any of this shit. I don't like that he made the good guys all look like Nazis. I don't like
Yeah,
that
me
the main
either.
character is a physical force with bird bones. I
I like
don't.
that part.
I don't like that. I hate Dune.
Wow. So we have a hater and we have a lover. Who knew?
Yeah, but like, don't act like your way is better.
I'm not. When do I ever do that? I don't ever do that.
Well, I don't see like how what just because I talked shit, you like
I-
went up from a 3 to a 4.
I think that you're that. I think yeah.
Everything I'm saying is completely right. It's a shapeless mess.
I like the world. I like Timothy
It's complete.
Chalamet.
It's amorphous. This is a film that's amorphous. It has no shape, structure. It's just a bunch of sci-fi shit thrown at you for 2.5 fucking hours.
Yeah.
It's just concepts. It's not a story.
Concepts that'll come together in the next movie. It's like we're a
That's
caterpillar.
not
And
storytelling.
we're gonna become a beautiful butterfly. It is. What are you talking about? I don't know. I'll give it a 3. Actually, I'll give it a 3. You're right.
Thank
You're
you.
gonna give it a 2.
No, I'm gonna give it a 3.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think that's what it was. I could tell you liked it, but you were hating it. You kept saying, I hate Dune. So I kind of wanted
It's
to give
well
it a 4.
made. I respect what they did with this. The spectacle is incredible. Some of the performances, the cast they assembled is amazing. But
Couldn't do it on TV, probably. We could
maybe
get Jason for TV. He was on Game of Thrones.
Jason? Oh, Momoa.
Jason, you don't call him Jason?
No, I'm not on a first term basis with fucking Aquaman.
I am.
I don't know. Wait, where was I? You just fucking cut me off again. I lost my train of thought.
Did I know I did it? We were talking about TV, the cast, great cast assembled.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't deserve a 2. That 2
Okay.
feels dismissive. 2 is what I gave Free Willy Escape from Pirates Cove. It's
The
a
second
3,
best Free Willy.
but it's just fucking. I hate Dune.
See, that's kind of why I wanted to give it 4 because we definitely don't feel the same way about this. We definitely both aren't on the same level of 3. But I don't
Yeah.
feel it's a 4. I think I'm just able to put aside some of the hatred. I don't know. So MVP, what do you got? I'm gonna go Rebecca Ferguson. I was really impressed by her. I think she's great. Can't
Me
wait to
too.
see more. Sad. It made me sad. She died in Mission Impossible, retroactively.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
She got stabbed. All right. LVP, what do you got?
Mhm.
I had trouble. Oh, Oscar Isaac, probably.
Maybe.
Who was
How'd
the
you
Dean
feel-
Stockwell? Who was
Can
that
I-
Asian guy?
Oh, it was Chang Chen.
Is he good?
He's all right. What'd you think of the gender swapped one though? There was one character.
Max von Sydow.
Yeah,
Now
I
he's a
guess.
black woman.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sharon Duncan Brewster.
What'd you think of her?
More memorable, as I said, I didn't remember Max von Sydow. This is a character I remember. She had a memorable death, right, where she was like sacrificed herself to die from the
Yeah.
worms. I liked her. I thought she was cool.
I did too. I just thought she was notable, so we should bring her up before the
Yeah,
end of the show.
yeah. I mean, she has like a big section in the movie where she's kind of like you're just like,
Yeah, no,
they're
she's-
learning from
she's
her.
in it a
She's-
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just going. So yeah, I liked her. But who's your LVP?
I'm surprised I haven't seen her more since this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
My LVP, I'm gonna go with Stellan Skarsgård. I felt like
Oh.
that was the most boring possible version of the Baron Harkonnen, I guess.
Oh, Harkonnen.
Yeah.
Should we go Zendaya for changes for saying it wrong?
It's not her fault, man. Are you kidding me? If she said Harkonnen on the set and they wanted it to be Harkonnen, she would have been corrected.
Remember how it's like in Star Wars, people are calling her like Princess Leia, right?
Yeah, it's
in
true.
the original Star Wars, they don't know what they're
It's
doing.
like on Buffy, in the early episodes of Buffy, all right. Some people refer to Angelus as Angelus.
Interesting.
And it's weird. And so like when you go back and watch it, it's weird. So I remember that when Tara was introduced, some people were calling her Tara and some people were calling her Tara. And I remember
What about
reading that
Tara?
Joss. No one tried that one. And I remember
wouldn't
reading on
dare.
this. Yeah, I remember reading on the set that Joss Whedon was really insistent that Tara is the proper pronunciation.
That's good. Really put his
Yeah.
foot down. I respect it. So
Yeah.
they were clearly going for Harkonnen,
Yeah.
which makes me lose respect.
I wonder
for
what the
Denis.
intention was. What I that's what I most want to know about Frank Herbert now.
Honestly.
Which
Yeah,
was the
did he-
intention?
yeah, what did he intend?
Yeah. wanna read
Harkonnen's
from
just
the-
way better.
I agree.
It's crazy how your
You-
girlfriend disagreed. I would not have
I know.
expected that.
I think she just loves this movie so much. Like she watched this movie just like a month ago. Like when we were on the plane back from New York, she watched this movie.
Wow. So she likes
Yeah.
the new one more than the old one.
Yeah, she loves this shit.
Okay, so she's excited. All right, yeah,
Read from the
Patreon.
Patreon. Yeah.
We have 2 comments.
That's it. I thought we had more than that.
Oh, maybe I should refresh. Maybe we do have more. But I opened this a couple hours ago.
Maybe I'm wrong. Go ahead.
Oh, we have 3 comments.
Yeah, that's what I
You're
saw.
right.
I saw a third.
Jack Bulberry says your girlfriend is awesome for watching Big Brother UK.
Wow. Well, she listens and she'll appreciate this.
She's even more
Public
awesome for
statement
liking
of her awesomeness.
Dune.
I think she's even more awesome for liking me, frankly.
Oh, disagree. I'd say Dune number 1, then you, then Big Brother UK.
Yeah,
Too
fair
boring.
enough.
BB UK. Aussie Scott, aka Henry Papali, says you want spice? Cover Nymphomaniac.
Bro.
Also a Stellar, right? Stellar.
I've never seen Nymphomaniac.
That's
I've
crazy.
sort of put it off for this show. Maybe we should cover Nymphomaniac. That's
Those
a
are
fun one,
long,
too.
and they're part 1, part 2.
I'm pretty sure that's a movie that was intended to be one movie that it's like Kill Bill, you know.
It's actually not that long. First one, one's under 2 hours, one's a little over 2 hours.
Hmm.
So it'd be like 4 combined.
Yeah, but that's better than a 4-hour movie about a nymphomaniac, I guess.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Get a Stellan. We could do
What?
Stellan. Stellan's in that Nymphomaniac.
Oh, word. All right. Well,
That'd
it's
And then
Babcock.
Mikey Babcock, I guess I'll call him Michael. He says, "I'll be curious to hear Dan's Lynch ranking."
Oh, I
Well,
did
he
it
already
already.
did it, so
I
you'll
hope
be excited.
I hope it lived up to it.
If not, go listen again. Maybe it will the second time. Sometimes
Yeah.
it takes the second viewing. I'm also wondering if you guys would consider doing an episode by episode podcast on Twin Peaks, like you've done with Buffy's Angels. Keep in mind, I think it's less than 50 episodes to cover, so it wouldn't take that long. I didn't know that.
Yes. The first season of Twin Peaks is like 7 episodes. The second season's I think 22. They did like a full network television, and then there's the return. I think that's 18. So I mean, I would for sure do that. I love Twin Peaks. I don't know if we will.
Yeah.
I feel like if we don't do that, either way, Logan will definitely watch Twin Peaks, and we'll talk about it on Hey, I'm Watching Here.
That would be fun though. I mean, we've been talking about finding something.
We
after Buffy.
have, yes. I mean, it's not for a while. We still have like fucking 4 seasons of Angel, but yeah, we have. That is something that has been discussed. What are we gonna do after Buffy?
Yeah, so I mean that would be pretty fun. I've
Mhm.
never seen it. So, anything else?
I have something else. We just got another comment while you were talking.
Oh my goodness, are you serious?
Joshua Cole. I'll read it.
Holy shit!
I remember watching Dune as a kid. I've always loved it, but it's definitely weird. I've read the book, and it's crazy dense and complex. Yeah, it is. Loved the new film and can't wait to see part 2. So he's got an endorsement. This is a fan of the book, and he loved the new film.
I love it. So
Yeah.
we have somebody here who read the book and doesn't like the movie, and we have somebody here who never read the book but does like the movie. Maybe we should have him on next week.
And we have someone here in me who read the book, didn't really like the book, and doesn't like the movies either.
Oh, you were the first person I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I just didn't add that you didn't like. I didn't know you didn't like the book either.
I mean, got me laid.
Right. Why do you keep watching it if you hate it so much?
It's interesting. Dune is interesting. I will say that. It's an interesting world. I'm always curious. Like, if another director after Villeneuve made a Dune movie, I'd be interested in
No,
that.
you wouldn't. If they announced Dune coming back.
No, honestly, like
Richard
it's an intriguing.
Linklater's
It's an
Dune.
intriguing. Are you kidding me? I'd be all over that. It's an
Rotoscope.
intriguing thing to see what people will do with it. I'm not that into it, but it's also it's not a chore to watch. Like Lord of the Rings feels like a chore. Dune, like I don't love it, but it's got some cool shit in it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Cool shit. Cool worms.
Yeah, I love sandworms. You kidding me? That's a good thing in Beetlejuice.
They're sandworms?
Of course.
I don't remember that.
There are
Yes.
sandworms in Beetlejuice, straight up.
Well, all right.
The first time I saw Dune, I was like, that's ripped off from Beetlejuice. Then I was like, no, Dune did it way before Beetlejuice.
Yeah, little did you know.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody, Jack and everybody.
Josh and Aussie Scott and Michael Babcock, and to the rest of all the great listeners, people who've commented recently. Eric Nelson keeps texting me, and I haven't responded to him, and I feel really bad about it. I hope he's listening and heard that.
You should respond to him.
I really should. I should respond to all of our great listeners, and especially the top 5. And those top 5, they know who they are.
What if one doesn't? What if one's like, "Am I the top 5? What if I'm not?"
If you're wondering, ask me. But if it's even a question in your mind, there's so few people that are top 5 material. You probably are.
Right. If you think you have what it takes, then you're probably in the top 5.
Yeah,
If we're aware of you and you think, "Oh, I've got the goods,"
like if
you've
Ross
probably got
Beck
the
is
goods.
if Ross Beck is sitting somewhere going like my top 5, you
He's
take your top
1.
5. Yeah,
Let's
come on.
be honest. Let's be honest. Ross Beck's number 1. He allowed me to watch the Traders UK, and nobody else did. That's all I gotta say.
That's hilarious. All right, next week on the show, Dune Part 2. We'll do a deep Dune dive, and and come on back for Patreon.com.
Should we get Dune buggies?
Podcast
Podcast from inside a Dune buggy.
This week we're redoing the 2006 Oscars and Emmys. I'm very excited about that. This week we are doing Buffy's Angels. Buffy's Triangle. Angel is redefinition. And Hey, I'm Watching Here. We'll talk about all kinds of shit. Is that all, Logan?
Yeah, maybe I'll finish the OC season 2. We'll see.
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't even talk about it on Hey, I'm Watching Here. It upset you last time. Maybe we won't even mention
maybe
it.
you should prepare that segment and really.
I've written down like every dramatic moment that's happened. I've like taken a little note.
Good. I want to do a deep fucking dive.
Yeah, but the notes I'm up to like 70 little things though, so I'm not sure how many we'll get into.
I think it's
all of them.
We just cut it into its own episode like we've been doing with
Combeast.
All right. Logan.
Yes, and Combeast. We're gonna do Big Brother 11's week 3 and 4, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
True,
5.
true.
4 and 5.
Big Brother 11. I forgot we are doing that. And if you're missing Sunday Night Wars, that'll be back next week with Royal Rumble 1991 and Starrcade 1990. Logan.
Yep.
The Dude.